Chapter 443. Although it was a pity that the boss did not drop any equipment, if Lu Yi was willing to follow him, it seemed to be more helpful to Lu Chen than a heaven-grade weapon or skill. Xiao Min was only a purple-grade ghost pet, but she had always been Lu Chen's most important partner. Lu Yi should not be weaker than Xiao Min. After accepting Lu Yi, a system notification popped up. Congratulations on obtaining Celestial Grade Ghost Pet, Lu Yi. Celestial Grade. This. Lu Chen's eyes widened in shock. Lu Yi was so strong. But thinking about it, it was indeed very difficult to obtain LVE. She appeared in the first layer of Heaven's legendary hidden mission, Divine Blood Demon Seed. The condition to enter the Ghost Valley was that one's yang qi must be strong enough. In other words, there could not be a death record. After that, Lu Yi requested to complete the Sanctimonious quest. This quest had almost no rewards, so players might not even be willing to accept it. Even if they accepted it, they still had to kill the Heaven Domain boss at level 2 Purgatory to complete the Sanctimonious quest. Lu Yi's quest was a quest that extended from level 1 to level 2. It was very difficult and was definitely the most difficult quest that Lu Chen had completed so far. Moreover, killing Master Spiritual Martial Apothecary would normally drop equipment. How could there be no reward for completing such a difficult quest? Lu Chen was now sure that killing Master Spiritual Martial Apothecary was not without a reward, but the reward had been upgraded. However, when he fought with Lu Yi was not very strong. How did she suddenly become a celestial grade ghost pet? Lu Chen hurriedly checked on Lu Yi's situation. Ghost pet, Lu Yi, legendary, unique, level 50, profession, medicine, poison, and goo cultivation apothecary, profession potential rating, medicine, 1 in 10,000, celestial grade, poison, 1 in 10,000, celestial grade, goo technique, once in a century, legendary level, portable dharma treasure. Primordial Chaos Medicine Cauldron, Level 1. Increases pill refinement success rate by 30%, reduces material consumption by 30%, 10% chance of twin pills, 5% chance of triple pills, special effect, bloodline fusion. Every time the Primordial Chaos Medicine Cauldron levels up, it will obtain the ability to fuse bloodlines once. Although this was Lu Chen's first time seeing the potential rating, he still understood the remarks at the back. Damn, so the reason why Lu Yi is an immortal is because of her potential. Lu Chen came to a realization, this fellow's growth potential was huge, 2 of the medical poison goo's attributes had reached immortal grade, and 1 was at legendary grade. Having the potential to reach the immortal level didn't mean that one could only grow to the immortal level. Immortal level cultivation techniques could only be immortal level cultivation techniques. However, having the potential to reach the immortal level could only mean that her growth speed was faster than others. She could definitely reach a higher realm. Lu Chen had reason to believe that with Lu Yi's potential, it was very likely that she would surpass Master Spiritual Martial Apothecary. However, she had been killed by the Spiritual Martial Apothecary and could only exist in the form of a ghost. Geniuses might not be able to reach the end, Lu Chen couldn't help but think about the potential of his battle pets. Unfortunately, when he glanced at the Chaos panel, that fellow's panel didn't have a potential rating. Maybe the potential rating system will be officially open for rank 3 geniuses. Lu Yi only had a white attribute robe on her, and it had 3 skills. Eternal Vitality, Man Luo Heavenly Certificate, and Mad Demon Goo, 1 for each of the 3 branches. Little Green, why do you only have 3 skills? The last time I fought with you, you had more than these. Lu Yi slightly bowed, Benefactor, after becoming your ghost pet, I have to give up many things. I can only keep 3 skills, if you feel that they are not enough, you can let me learn more cultivation techniques, or wear equipment with special effects. Lu Chen nodded and sighed. No wonder ghost pets weren't so easy to obtain, they were often the only ones, they also needed to be determined to awaken, then I'll have to trouble you. Not at all, Yi has no regrets, I am willing to follow Benefactor. Don't call me Benefactor. Just call me boss like Xiao Min benefactor, it sounds weird. Lu Chen smiled. Xiao Min, you have a partner now. Xiao Min, come out, this is your big sister Little Green. A cute little girl appeared beside Lu Chen, tilting her head and saying sweetly, Big sister Little Green. Congratulations on successfully killing the rank 2 Heavenly Domain boss, the rank 3 Heavenly Domain has been opened to you. In addition, you have obtained the ability to blink in the entire map of the rank 2 Heavenly Domain. Please note, after entering the rank 3 Heavenly Domain, you cannot return to the rank 2 Heavenly Domain without the Mortal Pass. The Mortal Pass requires you to enter the rank 3 Heavenly Domain to obtain it. Galaxy District 19, the only Purgatory boss has been refined, the Heavenly Domain boss will be upgraded to Hell Mode boss. Lu Chen blinked, the difficulty is down. Not bad, I was just saying that if there was another spiritual herbalist, it would be difficult for others to pass. Lu Chen breathed a sigh of relief, who asked him to create the Purgatory level, he had to take some responsibility. The rank 3 Heavenly Domain was quite different from the rank 2 Heavenly Domain, did they still need the Mortal Pass to return? Actually, this was also expected, there were so many people in the rank 3 Heavenly Domain, if they casually entered the rank 2 Heavenly Domain, it would be unimaginable for the rank 2 Heavenly Domain players. There were almost no rank 3 Heavenly Domain players in the rank 2 Heavenly Domain. As for the Mortal Pass, although Lu Chen had never heard of it, he had a reference, he could roughly guess the difficulty of obtaining it. Back then, Hunter Emperor went to find his master, if it was really possible to descend, his master would have come long ago, but he only came 2 months later, it was obvious that the Mortal Pass was not that easy to obtain. He looked back at the dungeon entrance. Was there anything worth staying in the rank 2 Heavenly Domain? Could the players from Earth, especially his friends, walk out on their own? And the people he knew in the rank 2 Heavenly Domain, would he see them in the rank 3 Heavenly Domain? Boss, do you want to stay for a while? Xiao Min pulled Lu Chen's sleeve, you should be worried about your friends, right? Lu Chen took a deep breath, his gaze seemed to be able to pass through the dungeon, no, we'll go straight to the rank 3 Heavenly Domain. That's right, there were still things he was reluctant to leave, but he had to move forward, all the way forward. They will take care of themselves. After saying that, Lu Chen led Xiao Min and Lu Yi to the next floor of the Tower of Babel. Lu Chen had no idea what the other side of the black hole was like at the entrance, he only knew that many people told him that the rank 3 Heavenly Domain was definitely not what he thought it was. Normally, he would think that the rank 3 Heavenly Domain was a larger area, and the difficulty would be higher, but since Ken Sheng and the people in the mountains reminded him, the rank 3 Heavenly Domain was definitely not that simple. Xiao Min, possess. Little Green, come back first. After putting away Xiao Min and Little Green, Lu Chen took a deep breath, the corner of his mouth raised slightly. Was the rank 3 Heavenly Domain more terrifying than he thought? Very good. This was more interesting. Old Mu Xian, I'm here to save you. After saying that, Lu Chen stepped into the entrance of the rank 3 Heavenly Domain. Chapter 444. After a brief moment of dizziness, accompanied by a white light, Lu Chen opened his eyes and found that he was born in a dilapidated village. There were a few dilapidated mud houses scattered around. The mud houses were dilapidated and could even be described as broken bricks and tiles. The houses were crooked as if they were about to collapse. However, although these houses were dilapidated, there was a proper line of defense at the entrance of the village. A large number of boulders were piled up, forming a stone mountain that was 30 to 40 meters high, blocking the entrance of the village. No way, this is the third layer of heaven. Lu Chen couldn't believe his eyes. There were a few players around him with luxurious equipment. The worst equipment on them was probably dark gold. There was no lack of colorful light flowing around their bodies. That was the special effect of dazzling gold equipment. However, these people were all dejected and looked exhausted. When they saw Lu Chen, they acted as if they did not see him and walked past with their heads lowered. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. This scene was completely different from what he had imagined. When he first arrived at level 2, although everyone was a newbie, they were all arrogant and thought that they were extraordinary. The village was also full of people. However, when he entered level 3, it gave him an especially oppressive feeling. There were no more than 10 people in the entire village who could see him. There was no sense of one side being the strongest from their faces. You have entered level 3. Some of your system settings will now be forcefully modified. Pain system, all pain senses will be forcibly turned on permanently. Limb refinement system, after the body is injured, it will no longer automatically recover. It will require rest or pills to repair. Permanent injuries must be healed with pills. At the same time, injuries will affect various attributes. Specific injuries will cause some skills to be unusable. Online system changes. After the player goes offline, the character will no longer disappear. Instead, it will stay in the game and will take all normal damage. Please note the location and time of going offline to ensure that the character will not be injured during the time of going offline. Attribute extraction, activating the attribute extraction function. The attributes you extract will affect the body's attributes in the real world through quantum entanglement technology. Level 3 has a limit of 100 for a single attribute. Increasing innate power can increase the limit. Lu Chen was really shocked this time. It did not matter to him that the pain senses were turned on. After all, he was already used to it. Limb refinement had already been reflected in some games, especially some wuxia games. Therefore, it was nothing new. The most important point was the last point, attribute extraction. The 9 heavens domain finally revealed its true colors in the Earth 3 heavens domain. Oh my god, it's true. Lu Chen's brain short-circuited. Although he had been prepared for this result, it was still enough to shock him when the system confirmed it. For thousands of years, people had been pursuing supernatural abilities. But now, in the Jiutian, they had realized it. When this news was announced, there was no doubt that people would crazily rush to the 3rd heavenly realm. This game had gone beyond the scope of a game. It was bound to change the fate of the entire Earth. Where can I extract my attributes? Lu Chen couldn't wait to try out this function. The system ignored Lu Chen's urgency and continued to send out notifications. Your military merit system has been activated. You have obtained more military merits. You can now exchange them for items such as extractable attribute points, temporary lower realm pass, cultivation methods, battle pets, equipment, resources, military ranks, and other items from the quartermaster. Lu Chen found that there was an additional button on his control panel, military merit. He clicked on it. Character, money can reach the heavens, Demon Lord's Eye, Tiger Courage and Dragon Might, Dark Moon Vanguard, Top Rank, Tiger Capture, Blood Pool Vanguard, Elite, Especially Strong, Especially Agile, Especially Muscular Null Leader, First Transformation Demonized Boss, Black Barton. Character, Solipsistic, Military Merit, 0, Military Rank, Militia, Authorization, can exchange for items once every 10 days at the quartermaster. What the hell? Lu Chen shook his head. He didn't know why this military merit system appeared. From the moment Lu Chen appeared until now, he had been standing there in a daze for a few minutes. Most of the people around him glanced at Lu Chen and ignored him. It was as if they were used to newcomers acting like this. Lu Chen stood there like a wooden stake for a long time. Finally, after receiving the system's information, he felt as if he had regained his freedom and could move again. Hey, newcomer! A middle-aged man shouted from afar. Lu Chen looked up in surprise. It was a big man with a beard. He was wearing a set of gray and white clothes. His body was at least twice as strong as the people on Earth. His muscles were strong. Lu Chen guessed that if he stood up, he would be more than 2 meters. Beside him was a pile of bronze hammers that were faintly glowing. Dazzling gold weapon. His ID was Militia Captain, Mountain Strength. Are you calling me? Nonsense, are there any newcomers here other than you? The man spoke as if he was very casual. Lu Chen looked around. Indeed, there hadn't been any newcomers for a long time. Coincidentally, Lu Chen also had a lot of questions, so he walked over. Have you finished receiving the system's notifications? Mountain Strength sat on a wooden stool. It really made people worried that the small wooden stool wouldn't be able to bear his well-built body and would sink into his anus. Look at your dazed appearance. You're not from a family or power, right? Lu Chen blinked his eyes. I'm not. That's true. Those people from big families wouldn't be assigned to a small place like ours. Lu Chen frowned. Aren't the teams that go through the second heaven together? Of course not, the third heaven is randomly born. However, some people in the third heaven will spend military merits to let their own people be born in their own area. Lu Chen nodded. The third heaven was indeed different. Since you've been assigned to me, you'll be my soldier from now on. Don't worry, your brother Sean will protect you. We can't compare to the big powers, but I won't let my people be bullied outside. Although Mountain Strength's words were a bit rough, he seemed to be a straightforward person. Kid, even if you hide your ID, at least let me know what you're called, Brother Sean said. Hua Xia nameless, Lu Chen replied. There are many people in the third heaven who like to be called nameless. However, you're Hua Xia nameless. Hua Xia should be your hometown, right? I'll remember this name. Hey, Hua Xia kid, what don't you understand? I'll give you 2 questions. I can only ask 2 questions. Lu Chen had a stomach full of questions. Alright, I've already used the first question. Let me tell you why I only have 2 questions. It's because there's still half an hour before those guys attack us. I don't have much time to talk nonsense with you. Mountain Strength's face flashed with a trace of decadence. I don't know if we can still hold them off this time. Damn it. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. A fight was about to break out. Was the third heaven really that strong? After wasting a stupid question, Lu Chen didn't want to waste another chance. After weighing the pros and cons, Lu Chen asked. Brother Sean, how do I earn military merits? Military merits? It's very simple. Just kill the enemy. The enemy? Who is it? Mountain Strength smiled. This is the third question. Forget it. Looking at how silly you are, I'll give this question to you. You still don't know, the third heaven, humans have already been defeated. Chapter 445. Lu Chen did not know how to react for a moment. Did Brother Sean use too much free software and watch a lot of advertisements? He actually knew this common phrase. After answering Lu Chen's 3 questions, Brother Sean stood up. This guy was about 34 meters tall, like a giant. He patted Lu Chen's shoulder. Follow me when the battle starts. Those guys are not easy to deal with. Don't underestimate them. They are like you, they have also defeated stage 2 bosses. Sigh. The human body is too weak in Jiutian. Lu Chen nodded blankly. He still did not understand the situation, so he decided to follow Brother Sean for the time being. There was less than half an hour before the attack, so Brother Sean gathered the players. Including Lu Chen, there were only 12 people. Brother Sean said briefly to everyone, Brothers, I know you are all very tired, but this is our last stronghold. If we lose this place, we will be homeless, so we must defend this place. The tired people nodded, as if they had no objections to this point. Alright, let's split into 2 teams. Sansheng, you will be in charge of one team, and I will be in charge of the other. Everyone, rest for another 20 minutes. After 10 minutes, we will enter battle mode. After Pulling Mountain finished speaking, he suddenly thought of something and added, Oh, right. Everyone knows that there is a newcomer here. Hua Xia, nameless. From now on, we will call him Nameless. Newcomers usually have to go through a period of confusion, so please take care of him later. Alright, everyone, hurry up. Time Realm. Lu Chen didn't even have time to introduce himself. After dispersing, some people came up to him. Hey, Nameless, what's your profession? A skinny man asked. Lu Chen thought for a moment. Archer. Archer. That's good. Later, you will hide behind and shoot arrows. Remember, do not rush blindly. Once they get close to you, immediately return to the defensive circle. In their eyes, we are not living creatures at all. They are very cruel. It turned out that those piles of rocks were actually a kind of array formation. Lu Chen looked back and found that if he looked carefully, there were indeed a few huge rocks that were placed in a very particular position. Lu Chen glanced at the skinny guy. His ID was Militia, Cutthroat, and he used 2 shiny gold daggers. Brother Monkey, are you a Grandmaster of Combat? Lu Chen directly called him Brother Monkey. Me? That's right, I'm a pugilist, but to be precise, I'm an assassin under the pugilist branch. Oh, there's no assassin in the second heaven, I need to change my class rune at the quartermaster. Monkey King was also quite enthusiastic. Since they were all pugilists, he was willing to take care of Lu Chen. He looked at Lu Chen. Hey, you archers also have 2 branches. One is called God E. Their attack, critical hit, and shooting speed are quite strong. The other is called Assassin. They changed from bows and arrows to hidden weapons. That class is very annoying. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. The 3rd heavenly layer was even more detailed. Oh right, let me introduce you to everyone's classes. Brother Shan is also a pugilist. He's another branch called Heavy Shield. He's our number 1 tank here. It's safer for you to follow behind him. 3rd Saint is a Talisman Array Master. He's a dual Talisman Array Master. The village's defensive circle was set up by him. Usually, he'll give us buffs. He can also use arrays and talismans to attack from behind. He's very powerful. The one in white over there, always with a sour face. He's called Chasing Cloud. He's a sword rider. His attack is very strong. Main Yang. She's the woman who's been flirting behind Brother Shan. She's a 5th string puppet master and can control 5 puppets at the same time. She's a big boss here and she's very interested in Brother Shan. Monkey King winked at Lu Chen with a, you know what I mean, look. Other than that, there was also Monk Ice Bear, Ice Prophet Frost Dance, Beast Tamer Ching He, Dwarf Firearms Master Big Beard, and the 2 pharmacists, the 2 brothers Heartless and Ju Ming. Lu Chen remembered everyone's class. Although there were only 12 people in this small team, the class was quite complete. There were tankers, attackers, support, healers, assassins, and archers. However, among these people, only Bullish Mountain was the militia captain. The rest of them were all militia. Monkey King, is it hard to get military achievements? You guys haven't been promoted. Monkey King shook his head helplessly and sighed. How can it be so easy to promote a military rank? You have to know that those guys you're facing are no longer wild monsters. They're also super strong in their world. The physique of humans is weak, so they're naturally at a disadvantage. Did you know? It's said that in the past, their 2nd heaven was at purgatory difficulty. Think about it. How can they be weak if they can pass the 2nd heaven of purgatory difficulty? If we didn't have a defensive formation, we wouldn't be able to protect this place. Lu Chen frowned slightly. Almost all of their enemies had cleared the 2nd firmament of the purgatory level. Although Lu Chen was fighting Master Spiritual Martial Apothecary alone, he had to admit that an opponent at Master Spiritual Martial Apothecary's level was not something an ordinary person could defeat. Monkey King, Brother Shan said that humans have been defeated. What's going on? What do you mean what's going on? Isn't it just the literal meaning? Monkey King sat at the side and shook his head. There are a lot of foreign races in the third heaven. Humans are just the weakest among them. Relying on the support of some major human forces, although we haven't been exterminated, we're already in a precarious situation. Let me put it this way. The third heaven has unimaginable resources, secret realms, and opportunities. However, it's almost impossible for us to obtain them. Lu Chen's eyes suddenly lit up. A lot of resources and opportunities. These were his favorite. Why is it impossible for us to obtain them? Monkey King explained, it's not that we can't obtain them at all. It's just that the distribution is too little. Let me put it this way. The territory controlled by humans only occupies 1/10,000th of the third heaven. Some powerful forces can snatch a little, but it's very limited. What? 1/10,000th? That's too little. Lu Chen was shocked. In that case, humans were almost squeezed out of the third heaven. Hee, you still think it's too little? We're almost unable to hold on. It's said that the outside world has endless mountains and oceans. In some caves, there might be an immortal level skill book or immortal level equipment. Wild Boss will definitely drop immortal level items. Ah, I really want to go out and take a look. These opportunities can only be encountered by powerful races. They can also use these opportunities to become stronger and stronger. They're in a virtuous cycle. As for us, we're hovering on the edge of survival. Lu Chen finally understood the meaning of mountain pulling strength. From the looks of it, humans had indeed been defeated. At this moment, a little fox jumped down from the pile of rocks. It scuttled in front of beast tamer Qing He and chirped a few words. Qing He immediately shouted to everyone, "They're here. Prepare for battle." Chapter 446. Hua Xia Brat, come here. Pulling Mountain shouted at Lu Chen, "Everyone, grab your weapons, quick." The enemy had come more suddenly than they had imagined. Everyone quickly entered a state of combat readiness and climbed up the mountain. Long-range fighters, stay here and attack. Close-range fighters, follow me. Before leaving, Pulling Mountain instructed Lu Chen, do not leave the defensive formation under any circumstances. Lu Chen nodded. He was also a little nervous. Because of the atmosphere and the expressions of the others, he couldn't help but feel nervous. This was the first time he had stood at such a high place and looked down at the world in front of him. The forest stretched as far as the eye could see. There was a small path outside the village that extended into the forest for a short distance before turning into the other side of the mountain. Was this the third layer of heaven? Speaking of which, were there monsters in the forest? However, according to Brother Mountain and Brother Monkey's words, even if there were, it wouldn't be his turn to fight. If he acted rashly, he might become the focus of the enemy's fire. Should he seek refuge with a big power? Lu Chen had two tokens in his hands. One was the VIP token given to him by Ken Sheng, and the other was the guest token given to him by Old Ma. If he was willing to go, no matter which one it was, it wouldn't be difficult to find a place to stay. However, Lu Chen still decided not to look for them. Whether it was the VIP token or the guest token, Lu Chen didn't like it. As it was his first time in the third layer of heaven, Lu Chen decided to mix around with Pulling Mountain's team and understand the environment first. A few long-range fighters stayed on the high wall, while the others rushed down with Pulling Mountain. On Lu Chen's left was Chasing Cloud, who always had a sour expression on his face, and on his right was the Prophet, Frost Dance. Both of them wielded dazzling gold weapons. Chasing Cloud wielded a set of 3 swords, while Frost Dance wielded a staff. Lu Chen also took out his weapon, the Abyss Dragon Crystal Bow. Chasing Cloud glanced at Lu Chen's black longbow. At least this brat's weapon was also a dazzling gold weapon. It was not bad. Kid, stand further away. Don't affect me. Chasing Cloud said coldly. Lu Chen frowned and glanced at Jueyun. Just as he was about to say something, Shuangwu suddenly tugged at Lu Chen. Don't mind her. Zhuiyun has a bad temper. She's actually not bad. Just come over to my side. Lu Chen nodded and smiled. All right. You're an archer. I can give you a buff. Frost Dance raised her hand and gave Lu Chen a buff. Frost Arrow. The arrow deals additional frost damage and has a 10% chance of freezing the enemy. Lu Chen looked at it and said, wow, this buff is good. Thank you, beautiful. Frost Dance smiled. You're welcome. We'll all be comrades in the future, and we'll be together for a long time. At this moment, a sudden tremor came from the pile of rocks, and stones fell from time to time. Third Saint reminded in a deep voice, they're here. And they're from the Yao Beast clan. Judging from the tremors, the situation might not be good. The tremors are huge, and there might be strong enemies coming. Everyone, be careful. At the same time, the close combat team members below were even more nervous. Everyone stared at the corner of the village entrance. Not long after, at the corner, at a height of 40 to 50 meters, an extremely thick arm suddenly appeared. Immediately after, a huge creature appeared from the corner. Looking at this boss, Lu Chen could not help but take a deep breath. This guy was a white yeti with a height of 60 to 70 meters. Its entire body was covered in snow-white fur. Its arms extended past its knees, and its eyes were filled with ferocity. Behind it, there were more than 10 Yao beasts that were 10 to 20 meters tall. There were snow apes, earth apes, fire apes, and a few snow wolves. Was this the Yao Beast clan? Lu Chen frowned. This was clearly a boss. Compared to this creature, it wasn't hard to imagine how low the attributes of humans were. In front of such a strong enemy, it was no wonder that those super experts that had passed the second celestial stage would be beaten to such a state. Not good. The largest one is a captain-level expert. Chasing Cloud stared intently at the largest snow ape, his expression abnormally solemn. Damn it, I don't know if we can hold on this time. Lu Chen couldn't react. A captain-level boss? Was it a boss or a player? From what Ba Shan and the others said, it should be a player of another race. However, Lu Chen felt that this guy was a boss. Speaking of which, Lu Chen suddenly felt the same feeling that players had when they saw his wild monster form. Was that guy a player? A wild monster? A player? Fuck, as expected, sooner or later you'll have to pay for what you did. He also had times when he was mentally unstable. Speaking of which, if I use my wild monster form, I don't know if I can sneak in. Lu Chen was obviously not in the right state. In Frost Dance's eyes, his reaction was seen as too nervous. She hurriedly called out to Lu Chen, hey, Hua Xia, nameless. Don't be affected by chasing Cloud. You have to believe in everyone. We can definitely hold on. If we feel that we're going to lose, then there's even less hope. Lu Chen came back to his senses and smiled at Frost Dance, thank you. Okay, I understand. The close combat team didn't dare to be too far away from the defensive formation. Firstly, if they couldn't hold on, they could temporarily retreat to the defensive formation. Secondly, the ranged attackers and healers were on the wall. Their mission was not to take the initiative to attack, but to block the enemy's attack. There were about a dozen Yao beasts on the other side. However, their bodies were too large, so they looked very powerful. Roar! The captain-level snow ape roared and let out a shocking roar. Are you hungry? Tear them apart and charge. The other Yao beasts immediately followed and let out a long roar before fiercely pouncing over. Ba Shan frowned and angrily roared, how arrogant. Mysterious gold immortal body. Vajra battle god possession. Pulling Mountain's body suddenly exploded with a ring of energy. His body glowed brightly, increasing his HP and defense buffs. Immediately after, the image of a heavily armored war god appeared behind him. This was probably the effect of the Vajra war god's possession. His attributes and defense increased again. At the same time, the others in the team were also increasing mountain strength's buffs. Ice robe possession. Frost dance gave mountain strength's cutthroat, Lady Charm's 2 meat shield puppets, and Qing He's close combat gilded black tortoise added ice armor. Iron armor formation. Impregnable defense formation. 3 saints added 2 more buffs. His formation had a group effect, so the close combat players could enjoy it. To be honest, this was the first time Lu Chen had participated in such a team leader. He had to admit that after such a degree of continuous stacking, mountain strength became very tanky. It was also at this moment that the close combat players of the 2 armies collided, and the team battle officially began. Everyone was crazily attacking or healing. Lu Chen also aimed at a snow wolf. He was very clear about the wolf clan's innate skill, which was a critical hit. He didn't know if these wolf clan demonic beasts had such an innate skill as players. No matter what, the snow wolf's attack was still stronger than the apes. Killing it first was the right thing to do. But the moment before the arrow was shot, the eye of the gods suddenly gave a warning. The warning range included the entire stone wall. The others didn't seem to notice this skill and were still attacking with all their might. This is... Lu Chen frowned. No, the enemy isn't just this few people. Someone is ambushing us. Lu Chen quickly held his breath and focused. If the opponent attacked, then he would use his strongest bow or the triple gate to try and block the attack. However, for a full 10 seconds, the warning was still there, but the attack still didn't come. Hiss. The preparation time is so long. Lu Chen's eyes widened. In a place like the third heaven, a skill with a preparation time of more than 10 seconds was definitely not a simple skill. The triple gate and the strongest bow might not be able to block it. All ranged players, someone is ambushing us. Get out of the way. Lu Chen suddenly roared. Several people on the wall looked at Lu Chen in surprise. Are you crazy? How could we not know if someone is ambushing us? Don't disturb the battlefield. Without our damage output, we won't be able to hold on. There's a defensive formation here. Don't panic. Continue to attack. Lu Chen was really anxious. These people didn't listen to him. Chapter 447. The enemy obviously knew that there was a defensive formation here, and this ultimate move of theirs was obviously meant to deal with the defensive formation. It was very likely that both the people and the formation would be destroyed. However, Lu Chen had just arrived, and no one believed his words at all. Lu Chen glanced at Frost Dance. She was still chanting some kind of ice-type spell. As an ice-type prophet, she was extremely important to control the situation. She couldn't be distracted for even a moment. On the other side, Chasing Cloud's eyebrows were tightly knitted. He kept using the sword manipulation technique to attack crazily. This guy's attack was quite strong, and his moves were very damaging. He and the firearm master Big Beard were the most important main damage dealers in the team. The Heartless and Heartless brothers were healing non-stop. The 3 saints used talismans and formations. As they attacked, they gave buffs to their own side and negative statuses to the other side. Qing He and Mei Yang were the 2 most tired people. Qing He was shooting with his bow and arrow, and at the same time, commanding 2 battle pets to fight. Mei Yang couldn't be distracted for even a moment when she was controlling the 5 lines. In the team, there were only 3 people who were really close combatants: Mountain Picking Strength, Throat Cutting, and Ice Bear. Other than that, there were 2 puppets and a black tortoise. The team's most important damage dealers, healers, and supports were almost all on top of the stone wall. Since his teammates weren't willing to listen to him, Lu Chen could only use force. Change the attack mode to full attack. The damage ratio was adjusted to the lowest, 1%. Universal Annihilation, Sky Shaking. Lu Chen stepped on the stone wall. Fortunately, his damage ratio was adjusted very low. The stone wall wasn't destroyed, and these guys were all knocked into the air by Lu Chen. Damn, kid, what are you doing? What's going on? Kid, are you crazy? You'll die without a healer down there. This guy is a traitor. Counterattack recoil shot. The bearded man turned his gun and shot at Lu Chen. Golden Growler, kill him. Qing He quickly controlled another battle pet to attack Lu Chen. You. Ice Drill. Frost Dance could still forcefully use a skill when she was in the air. Her whole body was frozen, and she fell rapidly. You want to kill me? You're too early. Blade Storm. Chasing clouds, 3 flying swords rapidly shot towards Lu Chen. It had to be said that these guys were very strong. While they were in the air, many of them could still make counterattacks. These skills were probably used specifically to deal with people in the air. Lu Chen was also depressed. He didn't expect this group of people to be so difficult to deal with. This increased the difficulty of his rescue. Universal Annihilation, back attack. Lu Chen dodged the attack and appeared behind Big Beard in the blink of an eye. With one blow, he knocked Big Beard out of the warning range. Heaven and Earth Annihilation, Earth Fisher. Back attack. The next target was Heartless Brother. Heaven and Earth Annihilation, Heaven's Fall. Back attack. Main Yang and Qing He were also sent flying. Heaven and Earth Annihilation had an outstanding knockback effect, instantly killing 5 players. Unfortunately, Lu Chen could not use Heaven and Earth Annihilation's final move. The damage it dealt was too high. Lightless Heavenly Flame Pillar. A heavenly flame pillar suddenly appeared beneath Chasing Cloud's feet. Caught off guard, Chasing Cloud was momentarily stunned. Lu Chen appeared behind him with Night Flash, kicked his butt, and took care of another one. The most difficult one to deal with now was Frost Dance. She had already landed and could move freely. She had to be subdued in an instant. At this moment, Frost Dance took the lead. Frost Spell, Extreme Frost. The air around Lu Chen began to freeze. Lu Chen found that there was an additional debuff on his body. His attacks were continuously slowed, and some of his movement skills were imprisoned. At this moment, the enemy's big move that had been charging for a long time finally came. Lightning Pool. Countless lightning bolts instantly appeared in the sky, mercilessly bombarding the stone wall. Hundreds of lightning bolts connected into one, and thick lightning bolts continued to attack. Third Saint suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. His defense array was instantly broken, and the stone wall instantly turned into ashes. The people who were knocked to the top of the wall by Lu Chen were shocked. This is a lightning-type heaven-level cultivation technique. It's the most unsolvable lightning type. That kid is really saving us, not good, that kid and Frost Dance are still inside. Finally, someone reacted. Third Saint's bloody eyes widened. His arms drew the 8 trigrams, and he forcefully activated his technique. Heaven Patching Array. However, halfway through the technique, Third Saint spat out a mouthful of blood. Third Saint. Damn it, the defense array is broken. He is too injured, and the Heaven Patching Array can't be activated. Absolute Life hurriedly supported Third Saint and healed him. No, Third Saint's spiritual core is damaged. It will take time to recover. At this moment, a stone door suddenly appeared beside everyone, and a figure rushed out from the stone door. Lu Chen walked out with the heavily injured Frost Dance in his arms. At this time, Lu Chen's HP had been reduced by more than half. He had nearly 10 million HP, and only 2 million was left. Frost Dance's situation was even worse. Her HP bar was empty. The damage of this lightning pool was too fierce. Sure enough, this kind of long-channeled skill, once it was used, the damage would be off the charts. Frost Dance. Yang hurriedly took Frost Dance. Absolute Life, quickly take a look at Frost Dance. Lu Chen panted and said, she won't die. Xiao Min, come out. Beside Frost Dance, a pretty little girl appeared. It was Lu Chen's ghost pet, Xiao Min. Lu Chen estimated that Frost Dance couldn't withstand the lightning pool. At the critical moment, he let Xiao Min possess Frost Dance. Only then was she able to withstand the fatal attack. Please help me take care of Xiao Min. She has activated her death immunity skill and is very weak now. Frost Dance really didn't die, but she was too weak. She opened her eyes with difficulty. I'm sorry, this sentence was actually what everyone wanted to say to Lu Chen. The ranged players didn't have much HP. If everyone was in the range of the lightning pool just now, the result would be a complete wipeout. It was this newcomer who gave the warning in advance, but none of them listened. He was clearly saving them, but they all threw all kinds of skills at him. Lu Chen smiled. It's okay. Help me take care of Xiao Min. I'll go help Brother Mountain and the others. The ranged players all retreated from the attack range. The melee players were under pressure. Moreover, the enemy's strength wasn't as much as it seemed. Without further ado, Lu Chen opened his demon wings. A triple door passed through the lightning pool and floated in the air. Looking down, Yang's two puppets were no longer controlled and were already paralyzed. Mountain Strength, Frost Bear, Monkey Brother, and Black Tortoise were indeed in a desperate situation. The melee battle was even more shocking. In just a short time after losing the healer, the 3 people and 1 beast were covered in blood. Frost Bear's right leg was heavily injured and was unable to move. He was torn apart by several wild beasts and could only resist with all his might. Slit Throat was more agile, but it was also restricted by the enemy's back line. After a mistake, it was attacked several times and its HP dropped rapidly. Mountain Strength was in the most dangerous situation. He was fighting against the militia captain and a group of snow wolves. Although his HP didn't drop much, it dropped very quickly. Ah! Hurry up and run! Mountain Strength roared. Otherwise, we'll all die. The enemy has strong players. We can't hold them off. Let Third Saint and the others run. Hurry! Mountain Strength used AoE taunt. Captain! Slit Throat's bloody eyes widened as it stabbed at the snow ape. If we're leaving together. Frost Bear continued to use AoE defense. Buddha's armor. If we live together. If we die together. You want to leave? In your dreams. None of you can leave today, the snow ape roared. Chapter 448. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes. His luck was pretty good this time, as he had encountered Pulling Mountain's team. Although they were weak, they were much stronger than those big powers that schemed against each other. Just as the 3 people and 1 beast were about to be surrounded, Pulling Mountain suddenly realized that someone was healing him. He turned around and saw that the stone wall was still covered in thunderclouds and lightning. But then, he saw a large number of black dots flickering in the air. Whoosh! 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 A large number of black arrows instantly covered the battlefield. Minus 130,000, double critical hit, minus 120,000, double critical hit, minus 190,000, triple critical hit, minus 260,000, quadruple critical hit. In an instant, a rain of arrows covered the entire battlefield, but Pulling Mountain's team was unscathed. The surrounding beasts suffered horrifying damage. Their health bars plummeted, and a large number of beasts were even frozen. Lu Chen's surpassing shot didn't deal all the damage, because he knew that there was another guy hiding behind this group of beasts. Once he dealt full damage, that guy might not appear. If he left that scourge alive, he might not even be able to sleep soundly. The third heaven's logout mechanism had changed. Players could not log off when they logged off. Lu Chen could not help but think about it. Frost Arrow. Pulling Mountain was very familiar with his team's skills. This was Frost Dance's skill. Qing He's bow could often deal a freezing effect. It's Hua Xia. Cutthroat saw the figure in the air. Beside him stood a girl in green. Although Lu Chen's attack was not high, his shooting speed was extremely fast. A large number of arrows hit, and the surrounding beasts were all frozen. Lu Chen frowned slightly. That guy still hasn't come out. His attention was still on the guy who had activated the lightning pool. Unfortunately, there was no movement around him at all. Damn it, he's even more wretched than me. Lu Chen gritted his teeth. Little Green's level was too low. His healing effect was effective, but the close combat team was still in danger. No, I have to preserve my strength. If I don't deal with that guy in the dark, there will be endless trouble. Thinking of this, Lu Chen shouted to the close combat team, Brother Shan, Brother Monkey, Brother Bear, retreat. The trio also knew that if this continued, it would be difficult for them to win. Using the time that Lu Chen had bought, they quickly retreated with the gilded black tortoise and the 2 puppets. At night, the 12 members of the mountain picking team, in addition to the 2 beasts and 5 puppets, had already been on the run for a few hours. They had already gone deep into the mountains. Deep in the mountains, the team hid in a cave. They blocked the entrance and stopped to rest for the time being. Everyone sat around the bonfire. The flickering light of the flames shone on everyone's faces. Everyone looked even more exhausted and disappointed. Although they managed to escape, they still lost their stronghold. Sigh. Pulling Mountain sighed, but it affected his wound again. Brother Shan, you're too heavy. I still have some regeneration pills here. Mei Nyang handed over 3 pills. She gave 1 to Li Beishan, 1 to Cutthroat, and 1 to Ice Bear. The injuries on Pulling Mountain and the others' bodies could not be healed by healing. They had to rely on pills. Pulling Mountain looked at Mei Nyang and the others. The others might have given them pills in the past. These were all exchanged with your military merits. What are you talking about? We're all in the same boat. Without you, we wouldn't be able to survive. That's right. Hurry up and eat. Rest well first. Without our stronghold, we might encounter more danger. Everyone needs to be in good condition. Lu Chen looked at the team's situation and had a general understanding of the team's financial situation. It seemed that the team's resources were already exhausted. I didn't expect that there would be such an expert in their team. He broke our defensive array with just a lightning pool. Third Saint sighed. Sigh, we were too careless. Speaking of the battle during the day, Frost Dance looked at Lu Chen again. Nameless, this time it's all thanks to you. If it weren't for you, we would definitely have died there. Lu Chen smiled slightly. We're all in the same team. There's no need to thank me. By the way, Hua Xia, kid, how did you know that someone was attacking the defensive array? Big Beard suddenly asked. Lu Chen summoned the dark eye of the gods. An eye floated beside Lu Chen's shoulder. Dark eye of the gods. No, it's the dark eye of the gods. Damn, how did you get it? It's said that this thing is almost impossible to make. Although it was a magic treasure at the first heaven, the dark eye of the gods was indeed very powerful. At the first heaven, the difficulty of making it could only be described as heaven-defying. About that, nameless brother, we attacked you before. We're really sorry, Qing he said, embarrassed. It's okay. Your reaction was normal. It's understandable. Pulling Mountain and the others only found out later that Lu Chen had saved everyone. Speaking of which, Lu Chen had not only saved the ranged players, he had saved the entire team. He patted Lu Chen's shoulder and nodded approvingly. Nameless brother, I won't say thanks. In short, well done. Cutthroat laughed and said, Aya, I really didn't expect that we would be able to survive this time. It's all thanks to a newbie. Although Nameless Brother's damage wasn't very high, he was able to remain calm in the face of danger. This is already much better than most of the hotheads who have just arrived at the third heaven. We really picked up a treasure this time. You might not believe it, but I personally saw Nameless Brother kick Chasing Cloud's butt. Desperate Life also touched the pot that did not boil. What? For real? When Cutthroat heard this, he immediately realized that this was a hot topic. You dare to kick Chasing Cloud's butt? Brat, not bad. Chasing Cloud's face darkened. The handsome and cold him had actually been sent flying with a kick. After holding it in for a long time, Chasing Cloud finally said, "Cough cough, no one is allowed to speak of this matter. Otherwise, I'll kill him." Ha ha ha, when I think of Chasing Cloud getting kicked in the butt, I can't help but want to laugh. Sigh, I was only focused on fighting monsters at that time. I actually missed such a rare scene. What a pity. Ice Bear also joined in the fun. Hey, that's enough. And you, Nameless, if you dare to kick again. If you dare to do this again, I'll poke you into a sieve. The originally depressing atmosphere of escaping suddenly became better as they chatted. Lu Chen suddenly liked this feeling a little. A group of people were escaping, but they could still joke around and enjoy themselves. These people were actually very strong. As someone who had never had a true teammate before, it was not easy for him to experience team life. It was late at night, and everyone needed to rest. Everyone was already very tired, so the most energetic newcomer, Lu Chen, was the one keeping watch. Coming out of the cave alone, Lu Chen looked at the pitch-black forest in front of him in a daze. Was this the third level of heaven? What the fuck, they were forced to sleep in the wilderness on their first day in the third level of heaven. Now that they were in the territory of the human race, they needed to rush to the next human race stronghold. If a 10,000th of the human race's territory was already so big, then how terrifying was the map of the third level of heaven? This had already exceeded the concept of a game map. It seems a little difficult to walk out of the third level of heaven. Lu Chen sighed. Chapter 449. In the dead of the night, the mountain-picking squad had already gone through several battles. This escape allowed them to have a good rest. Lu Chen stared at the night sky in a daze. A figure quietly walked out from behind him. Nameless. Night watch must be boring. Lu Chen turned around. It was Shuang Wu. She walked to Lu Chen's side and sat down beside Lu Chen. Why aren't you going to rest? You've also received a heavy injury today. Yes, it's quite serious. I might not be able to participate in the battle for the next few days. Lu Chen smiled. Don't worry. Nothing will happen. Shuang Wu smiled and looked at Lu Chen. But I can give you a frost arrow. Lu Chen smiled. Hey, do you miss your teammates in the second celestial layer? Lu Chen thought for a moment. He didn't seem to have any teammates. The only thing he was worried about was Kuang Lang's friends. Yes, it's alright. After all, I've only been here for a day. But sometimes, I'm worried about them. Are you the leader? You can say that. I'm the leader, but I'm just a boss. Shuang Wu covered her face and laughed. Hee hee, I think you're quite responsible. You didn't leave any of us behind in the lightning pool. Even if you're not familiar with us, you still had to face our attacks. Lu Chen shook his head. There's competition everywhere in the Jiutian. Naturally, we'll be on guard against others at the beginning. Sigh. Shuang Wu sighed. Humans claim to be smart, but they're actually the stupidest. After fighting for so long, we finally realized that in the eyes of the other races, we're nothing. Lu Chen looked at Shuang Wu. This girl's knowledge wasn't something an ordinary girl could compare to. Right, Shuang Wu, I heard that there's 5 great powers in the second celestial layer. Do you know what they are? You don't know. You're able to pass the second celestial layer. You really don't know about this? Lu Chen shook his head. Shuangwu thought for a while and explained patiently, the 5 major forces are the Mu family, the Bei Shui family, the National Army, the Jingguang Temple, and the Hall of Reincarnation. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. If that was the case, then he might have some relationship with 2 of the 5 major forces. There was no need to mention the Wood Manor. From his interactions with Jiu, Lu Chen gradually came to know that the Wood Manor was not an ordinary organization. As for the National Army, he didn't know if the National Yanran was one of them. Where's the Heart Refinement Courtyard? Didn't you say that the Heart Refinement Courtyard is also very strong? The Heart Refinement Academy is not a human force. You should have entered the Heart Refinement Academy when you were in the second heaven, right? Actually, the Heart Refinement Academy is spread across almost all the worlds. From the second heaven to the higher heaven domains, it is said that it is distributed everywhere. Shuangwu said, actually, the higher the level of heaven domain, the more you will discover that Jiutian has many secrets beyond your imagination. The 5 great forces are the strongest human forces that I know of. However, I'm not sure if there are any other forces above them. Lu Chen nodded. He had the same feeling. But no matter what, in Lu Chen's mind, his understanding of the 3rd heavenly layer had deepened. Shuangwu accompanied Lu Chen for a while. Seeing that she was too tired, Lu Chen let her go back first. Go offline and have a good rest. Shuangwu smiled at Lu Chen. Oh right, there's one more thing I need to remind you. I've been in Brother Shan's team for a while. In our team, I can be sure that it's safe. However, if you meet a stranger, even if it's the same kind, you can't trust them easily. Things like going offline and resting should be avoided if possible. Anyway, resting in the game is the same. Lu Chen nodded. He was very clear about the nature of humans. They would take advantage of the situation and hit someone when they were down. He had to be on guard. The next day, when the sun had just risen, the boulder behind Lu Chen was gently moved away. Li Beishan and the others quietly came out of the cave. Hey, Nameless, let's go. Lu Chen nodded and looked back into the forest. That hidden expert really didn't chase after them. Under Li Beishan's leadership, the team walked through the forest. There seemed to be no pursuers behind them, and they were in human territory. The team members finally let out a sigh of relief. Leader, how far are we? Not far. The scholars team's territory is just ahead. We'll be there in another hour or so. How's the situation over there? Li Beishan shook his head. His place is definitely safer than ours. Among the surrounding villages, his place is the most developed. Last time, he told me that he already has 20 to 30 people under him. With 2 defensive formations, it's very safe. Cutthroat frowned. Then this time, we won't be recruited by him, right? Many teams are a bit. Anyway, it's not very fair. Li Beishan shook his head. Don't worry, I won't be recruited by him. I've known him for so long. I'll bring you guys to get some military points and see if we can take back our stronghold or build a new one. With Li Beishan's guarantee, everyone felt much more at ease. After more than an hour, everyone saw a village built against a mountain not far ahead. They couldn't see the inside of the village, but the surrounding walls were much more regular than Li Beishan's. The walls completely blocked off the area between the mountains. They were more than 30 meters tall and looked like the walls of a large city. It didn't matter if the village was destroyed or not, but the walls had to be strong. Just as everyone was about to head to the village, Lu Chen suddenly sensed something and shouted, "Wait! Don't move!" After the lightning pool incident, Lu Chen's words had more or less weight. Li Beishan looked at Lu Chen in surprise. Nameless, what's wrong? Lu Chen frowned and stared at the wall in front of him. Something's not right. Look at that wall. Half of the bricks are different in color. It looks like it was just built. Third Saint said, that's normal. Although the wall has a defensive array, it will still be damaged when attacked. We also repair the wall frequently. Lu Chen shook his head. Look at the shape of those bricks. Everyone turned to look. At such a distance, it was actually very difficult to notice. They could only see it clearly if they looked carefully. After observing for a while, Third Saint's eyes widened. He turned to Lu Chen and said, that area and shape. Lightning pool array. Lu Chen nodded. The lightning pool's damage area is roughly an oblong oval. It's about 200 meters long. The new bricks on the wall coincide with that area. Lu Chen's eyesight was extraordinary. In addition, he had personally experienced it. He had also passed through the lightning pool's area. Most importantly, Darkness Eye had clearly shown the skill's damage area. Lu Chen was even more familiar with this skill. The new bricks on the wall were lighter in color. Lu Chen noticed the difference at a glance. After comparing it to the skill, he quickly found something strange. Hiss. That means that this place was also attacked by that hidden expert. Pulling Mountain was shocked. Lu Chen nodded. It's very possible. I think that guy attacked this place first and then went to attack our place. I've been wondering why he didn't chase after us when we lost our stronghold. Now that I think about it, it's very likely that after he released the lightning pool, he was confident that our team would be defeated. So, he rushed to the next village. Everyone thought about it. This was indeed very likely. Then, should we go in and take a look? Big Beard looked at Lu Chen. Lu Chen said in a low voice, there's not a single person patrolling the wall. We also didn't encounter any sentries outside. If I'm not wrong, this place has already been conquered. D***MN it. Pulling Mountain punched the tree stump beside him. Even the scholar's village has been conquered. Have these beasts gone crazy recently? We have nowhere to go now. Chapter 450. Just as the team was discussing what to do next, Pulling Mountain received a telepathic message. I am the captain of the militia, Drawing Sword Scholar. The beasts are becoming more and more rampant. Today, they have taken over several villages in the periphery. My village has been taken over. Please gather the displaced people in the nearby villages at the following coordinates and discuss countermeasures. Everyone's hearts tightened. Indeed, this place had been taken over. From the looks of it, it wasn't just 2 villages that had been taken over. Other villages had also been attacked. Pulling Mountain looked at everyone. It seems that the beasts came prepared. They might be planning something. Let's go and meet up with the others immediately. The team quickly moved toward the designated coordinates. Half a day later, the team was already close to the designated coordinates. Before they could enter the area, they were discovered by other players. The sentinel seemed to recognize the team and jumped out to greet them. Brother Sean. You're finally here. Quick, we've been waiting for you. Come with us. Following the sentinel into the meeting area, Lu Chen realized that there were already more than 200 people here. According to the calculation of a team of 15 people, more than 10 villages had already been taken over. These people all looked haggard and exhausted. A large number of them were even injured. They looked like a group of defeated soldiers. After the Pulling Mountain squad arrived, Drawing Sword Scholar and the others immediately gathered everyone. Everyone, almost everyone is here. There's no time to lose, and we can't wait any longer. Drawing Sword Scholar went straight to the point. During this period of time, the beasts have sent experts to attack our stronghold. Everyone should have experienced it. There's a guy among the beasts who knows how to use lightning pools. He specializes in breaking our defense array. We've already investigated. That guy is at the level of a platoon. There was a commotion below. Among them, Lu Chen was definitely the most confused. Platoon leader. The kind with 2 stripes on his sleeves. Monkey bro, what's the level of a platoon? Lu Chen could only ask for help. Monkey bro patiently explained, Brother Sean is the captain of the militia, but there are several levels to captains. Brother Sean is a small captain. A small captain can lead a team of 30 people at most. Above that is a platoon leader, who can lead a team of 100 people. A platoon leader can lead a team of 200 people. Any higher, and you won't be a militia anymore. You'll have a military rank. Lu Chen had a general understanding of the situation. In any case, a platoon leader was more powerful than a platoon leader and could lead more people. In order to become a company leader, one had to be at least the strongest among 100 people. These people who could pass the second celestial layer were not ordinary people. They were 1 in 100 among the strong, so their strength was naturally not weak. Brothers, no matter what conflicts or disagreements we have, now is not the time to pursue these matters. Sword painting scholar said, everyone knows that those high-level humans don't care about the lives of us militia. If we lose our stronghold, we'll be homeless. You can't even sleep at the 3rd heavenly layer. Therefore, we must unite and defeat this demonic beast squad. Take back our stronghold. They have mid-level powerhouses, but we have the advantage in numbers, and we're going all out. We may not necessarily lose. The sword painter scholar's words hit the nail on everyone's head. The human experts wouldn't care about their lives. If they wanted to survive in the 3rd heaven, they had to take back their stronghold. Lu Chen could hear the helplessness and bitterness in the players' words. Not only were they guarding the outermost area of the human territory, but they also had to fight back when they were attacked. It was indeed quite bitter. Alright, I'll have to trouble each platoon leader to calculate the situation of each platoon. How many people can fight, their professions, and their specialties. This time, we can only win, not lose. The scene was bustling, and Mountain Strength also reported the situation of each platoon. Not long after, Mountain Strength returned, shaking his head and sighing. Platoon leader, how's the situation? Ice Bear asked anxiously. Mountain Strength shook his head. It's worse than expected. Every platoon's injuries are very serious. Because of the lightning pool, almost all of the long-range fighters are heavily injured. Only our platoon is slightly better. The close combat fighters are also injured. We have 230 people, and less than 30 of them are fully recovered. As for those who can fight, 100 of them are at most dead. The situation was not optimistic. The meeting was still bustling, but at that moment, everyone suddenly felt the ground beneath their feet shake. Then, there was a rhythmic shaking. Boom, boom, boom. The shaking became more and more intense, as if a huge monster was approaching. Noticing this, many people's expressions changed. This is. They're here. They're here. A burst of wild laughter came from afar. Ha 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 ha, how stupid. They actually gathered together. Are they afraid that we can't catch them all in one fell swoop? A giant beast pushed aside the surrounding giant trees and revealed a sinister smile. It was a giant ape. Its body was covered in rare blue fur, and it had 2 heads. It was at least 50 to 60 meters tall. Behind it, there was a terrifying army of monsters, mainly made up of giant apes and snow wolves. Each of them was so huge that it was like an army of bosses. Look at how small you humans are. You think you can get a share of the loot in the 3rd heaven? Are you worthy? Mountain Strength glared at the giant thunder ape. Bastard, you're the one who injured Frost Dance. Ha ha ha, what's there to be surprised about? What's the big deal about injuring a human? In my eyes, you humans shouldn't have entered the Jotian. I knew you would counterattack like mad dogs. Very well, this time, none of you here can escape. We're going to tear your bodies apart. Draw sword, come over. Your mission is complete. If the giant thunder ape's previous words only made people feel fear and despair, then its last sentence was like a huge rock that slammed into everyone's hearts. The initiator of this gathering, Drawing Sword Scholar, was actually a traitor. This is impossible. Captain, he's not that kind of person. A member of the scholars' team was stunned. Impossible? The giant thunder ape grinned, revealing its sharp teeth. For the sake of benefits, for the sake of survival, your captain has already surrendered to us. Look at how laughable you humans are. You're already the weakest race in the third heaven, and you're still so deceitful. TSK, TSK, TSK. A race like you should have gone extinct long ago. No, impossible. Many people were also roaring. Drawing Sword Scholar's betrayal was the greatest blow to them. Without a leader, the team's morale was completely gone. Everyone was doubting themselves. The team's combat strength was already low, and now that the battle hadn't even started, their morale and fighting spirit were already gone. Painted Sword, you tell them to give up completely. Drawing Sword Scholar was already on the side of the monsters. He looked at his compatriots and suddenly laughed. You're all stupid pigs. Think about how we're treated. Those so-called experts are hiding in the safest areas, while we're fighting with our lives on the outside. In the end, we're getting very little military merit. I've been in the third heaven for 2 years, and I've only been promoted to captain after 2 years. I can't even be considered a regular soldier. When will I have the chance to reach the peak and have the chance to go on a treasure hunt? When will I be able to step onto the path of defying the heavens again? Yes, I've betrayed you, but so what? The winner takes all. Today, you'll all die here. Not only will you die here, but you'll also be captured and beaten back to the second heaven. No one will know what I've done. Ha 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 ha, wait until I'm in a high position, I'll naturally have a way to shut you up. This is power, this is strength. Stop struggling, all of you can die. There was nothing sadder than despair. After hearing Drawing Sword Scholar's thoughts, this team of 230 people, all of their hearts were dead. This kind of team no longer had any combat strength to speak of. At this moment, a calm voice sounded. I didn't expect that there would be such an idiot among the people who could reach the third heaven. A man wearing a red suit walked out and stood in front of the entire monster army. He looked at Drawing Sword Scholar. Haven't you heard of this saying? Those who aren't of our race are sure to have different intentions. You're going to join them. Do you think you'll have a good ending? Lu Chen pulled out his close combat weapon, the reverse water scale sword, and slightly lifted his chin to look at the giant thunder ape. You're really lucky. Actually, if you had appeared earlier in our village, I would have finished you off. Lu Chen's lips curled up slightly. I didn't expect you to take the initiative to deliver yourself to me. Sigh, a beast will always be a beast. Your intelligence is worrying. Today, none of the monster beasts here can escape. These words were clearly said by the giant thunder ape, but they were perfectly copied and pasted by Lu Chen. Sansheng looked at that person in surprise, then looked behind him. He hurriedly said to Chasing Cloud and the rest, Hey, why aren't you watching that lunatic? He's trying to be a hero. Chapter 451. Lu Chen never liked to be in the limelight, but this time, since the giant thunder ape had appeared, he could and had to make a move. He had to stand at the peak of the third heaven in order to have a chance to reach the higher heaven domain. Behind him was a group of people who had lost all hope and fighting spirit. They looked up at that figure, but their emotions were not affected. What's the point of fighting? We can't win. So what if we win? What's super expert? What all-powerful? In this place, we're just abandoned chess pieces. Militia? I relied on myself to get to where I am today, but I can't even be considered a regular army. What's the point of fighting? It was certain that these people who were born in the periphery did not have any background. In the first and second heavens, they created miracles and finally joined a top team. However, when they reached the third heaven, all their efforts were in vain. Heroes don't care where they come from. Ha 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 ha, that's probably the most ridiculous thing. Without a background, it's hard to do anything. Brat, accept your fate and stop struggling. Everything is predestined by the heavens. The scary thing about a wavering army's morale was that it would spread. Lu Chen was full of fighting spirit, but the group of people behind him was pouring cold water on him. For a moment, Lu Chen felt like he was fighting alone. He was a little angry and shouted at the people behind him, "Shut up. You used to be strong, but look at you now. Do you even have the slightest trace of being strong? That painted sword's betrayal caused you to be unable to recover. Without him, you can't fight. Did you all rely on others to reach the third heaven?" Leng Chen looked at the crowd angrily. Speaking of background, he came from Earth. Not only did he have no background, but he also climbed up step by step from the bottom. On this path, Lu Chen could only rely on himself. Everything is predestined. Sorry, I have to tell you bunch of trash that my life is in my own hands. The Jiutian path is as difficult as ascending to the heavens. I want to see what's above the Jiutian. If someone blocks me, I will kill that person. If gods and demons block me, I will slaughter them. If the heavens want to block me, I will shoot through the heavens. If you don't dare to make a move, then scram. Don't get in my way. Lu Chen was really angry this time. In ancient times, those who disturbed the morale of the army would be punished according to military law. This was definitely not without reason. These people did not dare to make a move, but they were still chattering. Lu Chen naturally did not have anything good to say to them. Scram! Lu Chen shouted angrily. These people had long since lost their will to fight. Now that Lu Chen told them to scram, it gave them a chance to live. Many of them turned around and ran. In an instant, only a few people were left from the gathering of more than 200 people. Lu Chen shook his head. Perhaps they had been here for too long, and it was impossible to wake them up with just a few words. If he had to leave, so be it. He was used to being alone anyway, but at this moment, Lu Chen noticed that someone was walking towards him. Looking back, Lu Chen couldn't help but laugh. 11 familiar figures walked over reluctantly. In the face of an undefeatable enemy, they stayed. Mountain Strength stood at the front. He stared at the demonic beast army in front of him, his hands tightly gripping his big iron hammers. Mountain Strength seemed to be helpless. He laughed self-deprecatingly, "Motherfucker, nameless. Tell me, why are you trying to be a hero? I was still thinking of bringing our people to escape in the chaos. Now look, we have to fight to the death with the other side." Third Saint shook his head as he raised his hand to increase everyone's defense. Nameless. At first, I thought that you were especially smart. Now, it seems that I really have to reevaluate you. You are simply too stupid. It's fine if you fight by yourself, but you even scolded those people away. Do you want to fight the demonic beast army alone? Chasing Cloud's face was sour. He pinched his sword fingers, and 3 flying swords floated beside him. I already said that he was an idiot. You guys didn't believe me. Reality has proven that my judgment is still very accurate. This time, we might die more miserably. Will it be very painful? Sigh, isn't it just returning to the first heaven? Don't tell me you want to watch a lunatic get beaten up. Just in time to return to the first heaven and catch a few more babies. Beside him, Shuang Wu tilted her head and looked at Lu Chen. Why are you using a sword? Where's your bow? I'll give you a frost arrow. Right now, my skill level isn't high, so I can only give the bow a buff. Lu Chen looked at this group of people who were cursing with their mouths, but their bodies were already prepared for a fierce battle. It was really annoying, funny, and a little touching. To them, this was an unwinnable battle. From their words, it wasn't hard to hear that they were even prepared to start all over again. Even though they knew that they would die, they didn't leave Lu Qin behind. One had to know that Lu Qin had only been with them for less than 2 days. Perhaps humans were selfish, but there was a group of people who weren't. Perhaps they were the legendary, fools, you bunch of fools. Lu Qin shook his head. We are fools. These words actually came out of your mouth. My God, you don't know your own limits. Alright, then you are a madman. Fools and madmen. Ha ha ha, just right for a team. Lu Qin took a deep breath and nodded heavily. Yes, just right for a team. Mountain Strength tried to suppress his breath. Brothers and sisters, this may be our last battle together. If there's a chance to meet again, I hope you can still remember this useless captain. I don't think there's a chance to meet again. Returning to the first heaven will cause you to be punished by the heavens. It's good enough to be an ordinary person. Moreover, even if we rush to the third heaven, it's almost impossible for us to be together among the billions of humans. Anyway, this is the last time I see you. I have to say, Mountain Strength, you are really useless. Other captains monopolize the majority of the military merits, but you always take the smaller ones. If I were you, I would have been a squadron captain long ago. I agree with this point. Stop talking nonsense. This is the last battle. Bring out your best skills. After this battle, we will be separated from each other. Big Beard was already aiming. Lu Qin shook his head. As expected, you are a group of fools. You are actually saying stupid things. Can you, the most foolish and mad man, not open your mouth? Almost everyone said in unison. It was now confirmed that Lu Chen's position in the team was the most foolish and madman. Of course, Lu Chen would not admit it. Lu Chen sighed. Forget it. No matter what he said now, these people would not believe him. The great thunder ape roared. Want to run? Brat, they can't run away. They are surrounded by my team. And you guys, since you are already prepared to die, very well, I will fulfill your wishes. Roar, tear this trash to shreds for me. The demonic beast army rushed over. The ground trembled, and the surrounding trees were destroyed in an instant. A mere team of 100 people was comparable to a human army of millions. They surged forward like a tide, unstoppable. In front of the huge tide, Mountain Strength's team was like a small boat, too weak to stand up to the wind. Mountain Strength's eyes were red. He roared, brothers, kill these beasts. Chapter 452. Are you trying to outnumber me? How naive. Lu Qin snorted. Originator, Furball, Tao Tai, Chaos. Lu Qin summoned 4 battle pets. Protect them. Lightless Flame Pillar. Black Coffin Realm. God of War Possession. Demon Transformation. None of the 4 opening skills were missing. Clones. Demon Clones. Demon King's Will, Refresh. Clones. Demon Clones. Su Ping created more clones as soon as his clones appeared. Counting Lu Chen's own clones, he had 35 clones in total. Ghost Shadows. 300 images of Lu Chen instantly covered the entire battlefield and moved quickly. All of a sudden, Lu Chen created thousands of clones, and the situation on the battlefield changed. With 42 combat units and a bunch of illusions that could confuse the enemy's judgment, Lu Chen seemed to have formed an army. How many clones does he have? The team members looked at this scene in shock. Why did that guy suddenly seem like a different person? All of a sudden, he used so many moves that they had never seen before. Isn't the lunatic an archer? What's going on? The lunatic has 4 battle pets. And 2 mythical beasts. Qing He, as a beast tamer, was shocked. He only had 3 battle pets and one of them was the gilded black tortoise. However, Lu Chen had summoned 4. As a matter of fact, he didn't know much about Originator and Furball. Of the 4 battle pets, Chaos and Tao Tai were the weakest. With the help of the clones and battle pets, the team members would be safe. Lu Chen quickly moved toward the Thunder Ape. The Thunder Ape wasn't a boss. It had to be smart to come up with such a great plan to encircle and annihilate the human players. He knew that Lu Chen had some tricks up his sleeves after seeing so many skills. Seeing that Lu Chen was close, the Thunder Ape quickly activated a skill. Thunder Shield. The Thunder Shield was like a small, lightning pool that was surrounded by lightning bolts. The Thunder Ape would be heavily wounded if it got too close. Brat, you still have a trump card? I've underestimated you. The giant Thunder Ape's eyes were cold. Very good, killing someone like you will give me a greater sense of accomplishment. Lu Chen could not be bothered with the great Thunder Ape's provocation and directly attacked. Triple Gate. Earth-splitting chasm. The 2 triple gates were interlocked, and the 2 passes changed the direction of the earth-splitting chasm. Even someone as strong as the Great Thunder Ape could not predict this move and was hit directly. The Thunder Giant Ape had extremely high Xianyuan resistance, and the earth-splitting chasm's level was indeed too low. The original 3 seconds of stun was reduced to 0. 5 seconds. Damn it, why are there so many variations in this low-level cultivation technique? The Great Thunder Ape was fearless. Unfortunately, so what if I hit it with great difficulty? What can you do in 0? 5 seconds? You don't even dare to get close. Lu Chen coldly snorted. There are many things that can be done in 0. 5 seconds. Who says I don't dare to get close? Dark Night Shadow. With a displacement skill, Lu Chen rushed into the range of the lightning shield. Almost at the same time, Lu Chen was heavily injured by the lightning. Minus 500,000, lightning damage, minus 250,000, chain lightning, minus 250,000, chain lightning. A bolt of lightning quickly triggered the chain lightning effect and instantly took away 1 million of Lu Chen's HP, debuff, paralysis, 1 stack, attack speed reduced by 20%. Although the lightning shield was a shield, its concept seemed to be different from other shields. It used offense as defense, and used high damage and paralysis effects to prevent the opponent from getting close. It was a form of protection. In the triple gate, there seemed to be more elemental damage, and Lu Chen did not have any elemental resistance yet, so the 1 million damage was all absorbed. With the help of Lu Chen's doppelganger and battle pet, the pressure on Pulling Mountain and the others was greatly reduced. At this moment, they also had the time to observe the situation on Lu Chen's side. Seeing Lu Chen rush into the range of the lightning shield and lose 1 million HP in an instant, Pulling Mountain's eyes were filled with anxiety. Nameless. Quickly retreat. You can't force your way through the lightning shield. Damn it, that madman actually rushed into the lightning shield. Not good, there are too many monsters. We can't get through. In front of such gigantic monsters, the splitting effect of the doppelganger was actually very poor. In addition, these monsters were not simple monsters. They had intelligence that did not lose to humans, and their strength was not bad. It was not possible to kill them in groups. The illusions created by the layers of ghostly shadows did not have any attack power, and would be seen through sooner or later. Right now, Pulling Mountain's team was not under much pressure, but they were definitely not relaxed. They could not move around freely on the battlefield. Seeing that its opponent was heavily injured by the lightning shield, the giant Thunder Ape laughed wildly. Ha ha ha, you really are stupid. Close combat. I don't even need to move to electrocute you. But don't worry, I will definitely tear you apart with my own hands. The stun effect was about to end, and the giant Thunder Ape was already itching to try. Lu Chen coldly snorted. You're too weak. Your HP is dropping too slowly. I'll do it myself. Put him to death. With a whoosh, Lu Chen's HP bar instantly dropped by a large chunk. He had lost 20% of his HP, which was close to 2 million. The attack speed reduction caused by paralysis was completely negligible in Lu Chen's eyes. Dai could increase his attack speed by 80% in the initial stage. In addition to the 80% attack speed brought by madness, a mere 20% was completely negligible. Rapid attack. Fierce tiger descends the mountain. Just as the giant thunder ape regained its freedom, Lu Chen launched his real attack. -930,000, double critical hit, -1,320,000, poisoned, -1,320,000, poisoned, -1,410,000, triple critical hit, -1,320,000, 10 consecutive hits, 30 consecutive hits, and not including the follow-up damage from being poisoned, Lu Chen had directly dealt 37 million damage. On the other side, Chasing Cloud was attacking when he suddenly saw Lu Chen's damage. The three flying swords almost went out of control. Damn, what kind of damage is this? 37 million HP per second? Big Beard put down his gun and stood there in a daze. This guy must be on drugs. How can a person deal such high damage per second? Lunatic, he's really a lunatic. The giant thunder ape had 53 million HP, and this attack almost instantly killed it. However, other than the damage, what was even more terrifying was the passive effect of the 10 consecutive hits. Stun, silence, slow, pure spirit burn, poisoned. Lu Chen was still being bombarded by the thunder shield, and his HP was rapidly decreasing. However, Lu Chen did not care about the 1 million damage per second. Taking advantage of the giant thunder ape being stunned, Lu Chen sneered. Now you know what 0.5 seconds can do, right? Roar. No. Impossible. You, what kind of thing are you? Why is your damage so terrifying? Impossible. A normal attack had completely emptied the giant thunder ape's 50 million HP. I still have a heaven tier skill. The giant thunder ape's huge body slowly tilted. It was as if it had died with its eyes wide open, unwilling to die. Lu Chen coldly snorted, heaven-level cultivation method? What's the use of a heaven-tier skill that can't be used? Spreading his wings, Lu Chen looked at his teammates. Hey, you guys, hurry up. Pulling Mountain Strength was speechless. You brat, you're not coming to help us. Lu Chen smiled. If you don't want so many military credits, then I'll take them all. Are you sure you don't want it? Lu Chen's words had indeed hit the nail on the head. With his clone and battle pet, Pulling Mountain Strength and the others were slowly killing the militia beasts. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to earn military credits. With the strength that the brat had just displayed, if he were to come down, they would probably have nothing to do. Wait. Lunatic, you must be tired. Hurry up and rest. Leave this to us. Chapter 453. In Lu Chen's eyes, the hundreds of beasts in front of him were just some military achievements. He did not care about these military achievements, but to Pulling Mountain and the others, it was a huge fortune. Although he did not attack, Lu Chen still stopped on a tree and observed the battlefield. As a team with good teamwork, Pulling Mountain and the others followed closely behind the doppelganger and the four beasts. Now that the beasts were without a leader, they gradually began to show signs of fatigue. However, Lu Chen was not paying attention to their battle, but the reactions of the beasts. When these beasts could not win, they would run away and cover for each other. They would also be angry, fearful, and panicked because of the death of their comrades. They were the same as Pulling Mountain and the others. They also had the prefix militia above their heads and some characters that Lu Chen did not recognize to form their IDs. Lu Chen frowned. Although they were not humans, they were definitely not monsters. They were real players. For some reason, Lu Chen felt a strange feeling in his heart. It was as if he saw, himself. After a while, Lu Chen shook his head and laughed at himself. What are you thinking? You only have the appearance of a beast. Of course, you are still human. In the third heaven, the beasts are probably not the strongest. We will probably see more of them in the future. After fighting for a few hours, Pulling Mountain and the others were exhausted. In the end, they killed more than 30 beasts, and the other beasts fled for their lives. The beasts' corpses were like the corpses of monsters, and they quickly turned into dots of light. Frost Dance said that if they revived after death, they would be severely injured. If their injuries were too severe and could not be healed in time, their strength would fall to a certain extent, and they would even be demoted to the second heaven. Some players who were tortured to death would even be demoted to the first heaven and start from scratch. In the evening, the team gathered around a bonfire to recover their strength. After some free time, everyone finally had time to digest the situation of the battle during the day. Hey, crazy. Crazy, you, what is going on with you? Cutting Throat pulled Lu Chen to the bonfire. My god, your damage per second is over 30 million. Even those with high military ranks might not be able to deal such terrifying damage. In reality, Lu Chen's DPS was over 200 million. However, there was no need to be so exaggerated when killing a party leader. That's right. Nameless bro, what's your background? Tell me honestly. I don't believe that you have no background. Didn't you say you were an archer? Why are you so strong in close combat? I've never seen someone with such high damage and such fast attack speed. Hey, did you guys notice that Lunatic's attacks are almost all critical hits, and they also have stun, lifesteal, pure spiritual energy burning, silence. Oh my god, I can't even keep up with that passive. Madman, your poison damage is 1.3 million. That's impossible. Are you still a poison master? Lu Chen felt like his head was about to explode. This group of people was like a group of curious children, asking questions one after another. He simply didn't have the time to listen. It was obvious that Lu Chen's small demonstration of his skills had already shocked the party to the extreme. Everyone had too many questions in their hearts. Lu Chen raised his hand. Hey, can you guys be quiet for a moment? So noisy. Yes, everyone be quiet and listen to Lunatic's explanation. Lu Chen was speechless. He didn't intend to explain. Looking at everyone's pleading eyes, Lu Chen shook his head. Forget it, I'll just explain a little. You guys have too many questions. I'm too lazy to explain so much. I'll just answer 2 questions. The group looked at Lu Chen anxiously. First, I really don't have a background. Although I know some people with backgrounds, I'm just an ordinary player. Second, why is my attack so high? Well, although I treat you guys as friends, this is my secret. You just need to know that we're teammates. The group of people almost vomited blood. Lunatic, what kind of explanation is this? Pulling Mountain thought for a moment and said, everyone, don't ask anymore. Nameless is right. In fact, we all have our own secrets. Even the best of friends need their own space. Everyone knows how dangerous the third heaven is. None of us are holding back. As long as we can fight with all our strength at the critical moment, why do we need to ask Lunatic about the source of his strength? As comrades, we only need to know the upper limit of each other's strength. When we face the enemy in the future, we will know. We don't need to ask about anything else. Everyone naturally understood this principle, but they were too curious just now. Yes, Brother Mountain is right. Nameless, we were rude just now. Lu Chen smiled slightly and didn't take it to heart. This topic was temporarily over, and Lady May brought up another matter. Lunatic, why didn't you attack when the goblin beasts were running away? At that time, we were already exhausted. You could have killed all the remaining goblin beasts. This was a question that everyone wanted to ask. Lu Chen shook his head and said thoughtfully, They're about the same as us. They're probably not worth much points. Their captain has already been killed by me. They won't be able to cause any trouble in a short period of time. I'm also tired and can't fight anymore. Lu Chen was indeed not in a good state at that time, so everyone didn't pursue the matter. Alright, we're done fighting. Captain, let's take a look at our points. Qing, he said impatiently. The group of people perked up again. Lu Chen was also very curious and went over. As the captain of the militia, Pulling Mountain had an additional team points distribution system. He pushed out the system panel so that everyone could see it after it was enlarged. 1 killed 32 goblin militia, 1 small captain, and 1 medium captain. That's a total of 34. Militia gets 1 point, small captain gets 3 points, medium captain gets 10 points. Let me look at the damage ranking. The first is Lunatic. Damn, 83% of the total damage. Lu Chen was dumbfounded. How did he get 83%? He had only killed the giant thunder ape and had been watching the show, pretty much. 3 Lives nodded and said, I saw it very clearly from the back row. Lunatic's doppelganger's damage was off the charts. His 4 battle pets were also very strong, especially that rat that could grow bigger. If Lunatic didn't shout that we shouldn't leave the team, I think that guy would have jumped into the crowd of goblin beasts. That guy's attack style is terrifying. Little Furball was called out again. There was no helping it. That guy was indeed fierce, so the damage from the doppelganger and battle pets is also counted as mine. Lu Chen was a little surprised. Pulling Mountain said, it's still the same old rules. The healer gets 10% of the points. Heartless gets 5 points. The others get the points according to their damage output and damage taken. Lunatic's damage output and damage taken are both number 1. His contribution to the team is around 80%, so he gets 5 points. With the remaining 8 points, there are 9 of us, so each of us gets 1 point. No problem. Ha, this is the first time we got 1 point in one go. Lu Chen frowned slightly. They had fought for so long, and they only got 1 point. That was too little. Don't split it like that, Lu Chen suddenly said. I'll take 10 points from the medium captain. You guys split the rest. Chapter 454. Lu Chen did not care about these points. His original intention was to let Mountain Strength and the others earn more points. Naturally, he would not snatch it from them. After a few rounds of evading, Mountain Strength was unable to persuade Lu Chen. In the end, Mountain Strength and the others each received 3 points. Oh right, where's that guy? Cutthroat suddenly asked. Lu Chen said indifferently, he ran away. That kind of person is used to changing the rudder according to the wind. You saw it? Then why didn't you stop him? Lu Chen smiled. Killing him won't even give us any points. What a waste of time. Don't worry, he'll only suffer more if he's alive. Soon, he'll know what it means to be a pig in the mirror. He's not human anymore. 3 Lives nodded. That makes sense. Everyone who participated in the gathering ran away. That means that his matter will spread very quickly. He'll be labeled a traitor, and the monsters won't be nice to him. Lady May said worriedly, that's right, but I'm afraid that he'll do something extreme. A villain has his own methods. Mountain Strength took a deep breath. Indeed, we have to be wary of this kind of person. Lu Chen smiled faintly. I still hope that he can stir up some trouble. Otherwise, the order of the 3rd layer of heaven is too stable. I don't care how it was in the past, but since I'm here, the 3rd layer of heaven should change. It turned out that Lu Chen had deliberately let the sword painter scholar go because he had other plans in mind. Lu Chen's domineering attitude infected the members of the team. Perhaps the moment this newcomer appeared in their village with a dumbfounded expression, their fate and even the fate of the entire third heaven would be rewritten. Oh, right. Brother Sean, do you know about the Heaven's Punishment Tower? Lu Qin suddenly asked. Heaven's Punishment Tower? I think I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is. Madman, why are you asking about the Heaven's Punishment Tower? Chasing Cloud asked. I have a friend who's trapped inside. I'm going to save him. Chasing Cloud, do you know where the Heaven's Punishment Tower is? I see. I don't know. Ever since we came to the third heaven, we've been in the periphery. We haven't had the chance to come in contact with these things. If you want to find it, you have to go to Ink City. Mo City. Yes, Mo City is the nearest large human city. Perhaps there are people there who know. Lu Qin nodded. Everyone looked at each other before looking at Li Bashan. Li Bashan hesitated before saying, Madman, if you don't mind, we'll go with you. Lu Qin looked at Bashan in surprise. Are you guys going too? Mountain Strength said, although Painted Sword betrayed us, he was right. Now that the village has been destroyed, it's time for us to make a move. That's right, I don't want to stay in that lousy village for the rest of my life. Madman, we'll go with you. The few of us actually have some strength. Besides, it's your first time here, so we can at least be your guides. If you want to be promoted to a militia captain, you have to pass the test there first. We have been to Mo City a few times. Lu Qin smiled. That's great. Let's go to Mo City. 2 days later, Lu Chen's team of 12 arrived outside a large city. Lu Chen could see this majestic Mo City from afar. The city walls alone were tens of meters high, and there were soldiers patrolling the city walls. It was similar to a main city like Lingxiao City. The gate of Mo City was probably 30 meters high, and there was an endless stream of people coming and going. At the gate, there were 20 to 30 people wearing soldier badges who were interrogating the people entering and leaving. They're actually going to be interrogated? Lu Chen was surprised. Although the players had all kinds of equipment, this felt a little like the ancient cities of Huaxia. Of course they're going to be interrogated. Some of the mutated races have the ability to disguise themselves. In order to prevent them from sneaking in, the soldiers will carefully check everyone who comes to Mo City for the first time. Lu Qin suddenly stopped. That's not right. If that's the case, these guys won't find out my true identity, right? How do we investigate? Lu Qin was a little flustered. Cutthroat put his hand on Lu Chen's shoulder. Just show us your divine aura or demonic aura, because the innate powers of the mutated races are often different from humans. Lu Chen thought for a while. Back then, the tiger serpent seemed to have used dragon aura. At that time, he was still puzzled as to why that guy's innate power was dragon aura. It turned out that the innate powers of the mutated races were different from humans. There were good and bad people. One could become a god or become a demon, but one could not escape from these two. When the time came, he just had to show off his divine aura to pass. As expected, when it was Lu Chen's turn, the soldiers asked him to show off his innate powers. Lu Chen casually showed off his immortal body divine aura and passed. Luckily, he only showed off his divine aura and did not actively use heaven-burning divine aura. Otherwise, many people around would have been in trouble. But then again, although Lu Chen's level 2, immortal body divine aura, was higher than many people's extreme mortal body divine aura, it did not attract much attention. From this detail, Lu Chen guessed that there were probably many people in the level 3 heaven who had level 2 innate powers. After entering Mo City, Lu Chen felt like a country bumpkin entering a city. Good heavens, this city was even more crowded. Players wearing different styles of equipment shuttled through the streets and alleys. It was too much for the eyes to take in. There were also people who bought or rented shops in Imo City to sell their goods and help others refine pills and equipment to earn some extra money. The entire Imo City was packed with people. It was very lively. It was his first time in Imo City, so Lu Chen casually looked at the shops. Li Beishan and the others were not in a hurry. Some resources could not only be exchanged from the quartermaster. It was very difficult to obtain military merits. As long as it could be bought outside, it would be more cost-effective to use gold coins. Passing by a herb shop, Lu Chen suddenly froze. He casually summoned Lu Yi. "Little Green, didn't you want to increase your alchemy level? Buy more herbs. You can slowly refine them yourself." "Okay, boss. See what materials you need. I haven't learned alchemy, so I don't understand those herbs." "Okay." There were many herbs in the shop that Lu Chen did not recognize at all. He could only follow behind Lu Yi. Li Beishan and the others also followed behind Lu Chen and whispered softly. "Madman's woman knows alchemy. What kind of pet is this? I've never heard of it. Why do I feel like this guy is a nouveau riche's keeping a mistress?" Lu Yi immediately found the herbs she needed. "Boss, I want to buy some of this draconic tongue grass." "Buy." "Boss, how much is this?" Lu Chen said without hesitation. 100 gold coins per stack. One stack is 100 grams. "Little Green, do you think this price is suitable?" Lu Yi nodded. "It's cheaper than what I know. In the past, we sold it more expensive than him. It's good that the price is not a problem." "Boss, how many stacks do you have?" The boss was already frightened by Lu Chen's attitude. He hurriedly came out from behind the counter and said politely, let me check my bag. I have 100 stacks here." "Don't tell me you want all of them." "Only 100 stacks. I want all of them." "Little Green, continue to choose. Choose more." Ice Bear frowned and looked at the guy in front of him who squandered money like it was dirt. Damn, that guy is a nouveau riche. He doesn't keep a low profile at all. This guy, is he that rich? He doesn't even blink when he spends 10,000 gold coins. Speaking of which, what kind of pills can the draconic tongue grass be refined into? Do you know about absolute life? He can make a lot of it. I looked at the other ingredients Little Green wants. She's probably going to make regeneration pills. No way, 1 military merit can only be exchanged for 3 regeneration pills. This is the ingredient that can make the regeneration pills. Zhu Ming nodded and then shook his head. The ingredients are correct, but you can't say that you can refine the regeneration pill just because you have the draconic tongue herb. Alchemists are very dependent on talent. Regeneration pills can be refined as long as one is a 7-star alchemist. However, the success rate is very low, and the effects are uneven. Sigh, being an alchemist costs too much money. No way, then. Little Green can make it. If she can really make it, Madman will be rich. Chapter 455. They went to a few medicine shops and went on a shopping spree. Little Green's backpack was filled with medicine. A single immortal pill could increase 1,000 points of spiritual energy. Who knew how long it would take to cultivate? Although it was impossible for Little Green to make immortal pills now, with Little Green's talent, Lu Chen would naturally spare no effort to nurture him. He did not care about spending a few 100,000 gold coins. After that, Lu Chen bought some second-turn mixed energy pills and blood pills. He did not actually use many of these pills. 100 or so pills would probably last him a long time. Mountain Strength and the others also bought some supplies. After purchasing, everyone headed to Mo City's army camp. The average person in the city is not much better than us. We still have to ask the people in the army. They are more experienced and knowledgeable, Mountain Strength explained. After walking for a short distance, everyone saw a wall in front of them. There were many people surrounding it. What's going on? Today is not the day of the test. Why are there so many people? Cutthroat asked curiously. The army camp was the most important part of Mo City. It took up almost a third of Mo City. It was surrounded by walls, forming a city within a city. In Mo City, where every inch of land was worth its weight in gold, such a large area was given to the army. It was obvious how important the army was. Brother Mountain, does the third heaven mean that everyone is a soldier? Lu Chen suddenly thought of this question. Mountain Strength nodded. Yes. As long as you enter the third heaven, the system will assign you a military rank. The higher your military rank, the more frequently you can exchange for items and the better the items. In the third heaven, military rank is a synonym for status, and strength. Even those who do business in the city have military ranks. They collect resources and sell them in order to increase their strength. 3 Lives added, it's not just us. It's the same for the other races. Frenzy, you can basically understand that the third heaven is a world where all races fight. Lu Chen nodded. I see. Then how do we enter the fourth heaven? It's still the Sky Split Tower, but the Sky Split Tower is a place that all races fight for. Now, it's the Sky Demon race's territory. Their people can enter the tower as they please, but the other races have to go through their blockade before they can enter the Sky Split Tower. Chasing Cloud shook his head. Not only do we have to deal with the Sky Fiend race, but the Sky Split Tower is actually located in the middle of the Myriad race battlefield. With the humans' present strength, unless all the powerful factions join forces to escort us, we will be surrounded before we even reach the Sky Fiend race's territory. Frost Dance also sighed, Nameless, didn't you ask me about the situation of the 5 major forces? No matter how they fight, there is an agreement between them that the 5 major forces will definitely abide by. Agreement? Lu Chen looked at Frost Dance strangely. That's right. Every half a month, the 5 great forces will organize a martial arts competition to choose the strongest person. After 2.5 months, they will form a small team of 5 people. After 3.5 months of training, the 5 great forces will join forces to escort them into Tong Tian Tower. Only 5? Yes, the third heaven of Tong Tian Tower is a 5-man dungeon. In other words, only 5 people can attempt it together. The third heaven domain boss was definitely stronger than the spiritual martial apothecary, but only 5 people could attempt it. Even if they entered Tong Tian Tower, the difficulty of the dungeon would be much higher than the first or second heaven. Then can we participate in the martial arts competition? Ice Bear nodded, yes, the martial arts competition is open to all human players. As long as your military rank reaches the titled marshal, you can participate. Lu Chen was shocked. Titled marshal? Mountain Pulling Strength had been in the third heaven for more than a year and was only a small militia captain. How long would it take for him to reach the rank of marshal? Lu Chen had a rough idea in his heart. The third heaven of Tong Tian Tower was located in the Myriad race battlefield, where the battles were the most intense. It was a place that military strategists had to fight for, and the competition was extremely intense. Every race did not wish for other races to enter the higher heaven domain. They would think of ways to prevent other races from entering Tong Tian Tower. If they wanted to enter Tong Tian Tower, they would have to break through many obstacles. With the decline of the human race, just getting close to Tong Tian Tower was extremely difficult. Unless several major forces joined forces to help, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. In order for several major forces to join forces to escort them, the prerequisite was to obtain first place in the martial arts competition. If people from other races wanted to participate in the martial arts competition, they would have to reach the rank of titled marshal. There were 2 conditions to increase one's military rank. One had to reach a certain number of military merits and pass the corresponding military rank test. This seems a little troublesome. Lu Chen shook his head, forget it, let's save Mu Xian first. As they spoke, the group had already arrived in front of the military camp city wall. There was a long queue in front of the city gate. Mountain pulling strength asked around, and indeed, they were here to participate in the advancement test. There's a notice over there. Let's go take a look. Monkey King's eyes were sharp. He noticed a notice on the city wall, and the group gathered around it. Recently, the demonic beasts have been rampant and have frequently launched sneak attacks on our surrounding villages. In order to deal with the strange movements of the demonic beasts, the Mo City garrison has activated the following emergency measures. 1. The military rank test that is held once a week will be changed to once every 2 days. 2. The cooldown for the redemption of the quartermaster of the regular army will be reduced by 50%. 3. The Mo City garrison will provide 20% military merits for the redemption of military merits for the regular army soldiers. 4. The small teams that have lost their strongholds will be temporarily incorporated into the militia and will be stationed in the temporary camp outside Mo City. However, they will not enjoy the benefits of the regular army. Damn, the benefits of this measure are all for the regular army. Big Beard was rather dissatisfied. They're only letting us live outside the city. If the demonic beasts attack, we'll just be cannon fodder. They're giving all the benefits to the regular army, and they're still using us as cannon fodder. How disgusting. Mountain pulling strength shook his head. Otherwise, why would so many people rush here to take the test? If you want to develop in the third heaven, you have to first become a regular army soldier. Not long after, Mountain pulling strength found a soldier guarding the city. Old Mountain. That person saw Mountain pulling strength and warmly welcomed him. Old 5. Mountain pulling strength also smiled. That's Brother Shan's former teammate. Cutthroat introduced him to Lu Chen from behind. Brother Shan takes care of us too much. Many of his teammates have mixed into the regular army, and he's even a small team leader. Lu Chen smiled slightly. Looking at the way mountain pulling strength was distributed, it made sense that his leveling was slow. After mountain pulling strength and 5 mountains and storms chatted for a while, he asked about the Heaven's Punishment Tower. Heaven's Punishment Tower? Old Mountain, why are you asking about this? 5 Mountain's tone became somewhat serious, and his eyebrows were tightly knitted. He looked at mountain pulling strength in astonishment. That place is not a place where ordinary people can go. Mountain pulling strength did not elaborate and asked, I'm just asking. Old 5, is there anything special about that place? Of course it's special. 5 Mountains said, the Heaven's Punishment Tower is a forbidden area. The people locked up inside are not simple people, and there are even level 4 heavens. What? Level 4 heavens? Yes, the Heaven's Punishment Tower has a total of 9 floors, and each floor is guarded by a super strong boss. From the moment you enter the Heaven's Punishment Tower, you will have to endure a strong Heaven's punishment, whether it's the people locked up there or the people who trespass into the Heaven's Punishment Tower. Under those circumstances, even an army would be completely annihilated if they went in. Hiss. What kind of Heaven's punishment? Mountain pulling strength asked. I heard that there was once a marshal who could not tolerate his lover being tortured by the Heaven's Punishment Tower. He entered the Heaven's Punishment Tower to save her. That marshal's HP was about 10 million, but he did not last more than 30 seconds. What? A marshal could not last more than 30 seconds? Yes, that was the first floor. The higher the floor of the Heaven's Punishment Tower, the stronger the Heaven's Punishment Tower. On the side, Lu Chen was silent. The place where Mu Xian was locked up was the 9th floor of the Heaven's Punishment Tower, but that was not what he was concerned about. As long as one was in the Heaven's Punishment Tower, they would be punished by the Heaven's Punishment Tower. That meant that Mu Xian had been tortured for months. Chapter 456. Wuyue Fengyun looked at Mount Li and added, Old Mountain, I can tell you the location of the Heavenly Punishment Pagoda, but if you want to save someone, don't force your way in. The quartermaster has a pardon order. Once you become a titled marshal, you can change it. Listen to my advice. Don't be so stupid. Be selfish when you need to be. Level 3 is too dangerous. Enter the regular army as soon as possible. After coming out of the barracks, everyone gathered in the suburbs. Lu Chen did not speak the entire time. Madman, don't be anxious. That. Which level is your friend locked in? Lu Chen took a deep breath, the 9th level. What? Ninth level. Everyone was shocked. On one hand, being locked in the 9th level meant that the difficulty of saving someone was unimaginable. On the other hand, being locked in the 9th level meant that Madman's friend had an extraordinary identity. Sigh, if it's the 9th level, I don't know what military rank is required to exchange for a pardon order. Sanxing sighed. He was afraid that this matter would not work. At this moment, Lu Chen suddenly raised his head and looked at his teammates. I've already thought about it. I want to force my way into the Heaven's Punishment Tower. When these words came out, everyone was shocked. Madman, don't be impulsive. Didn't Old Five say that it's impossible to force your way in? Not to mention that your friend is locked in the 9th level. Yes, even if you're strong, the Heaven's Punishment Tower is not a joke. Lu Chen shook his head and stood up. My friend was locked in the Heaven's Punishment Tower to save me. I didn't know that the Heaven's Punishment Tower was so cruel. Now that I know, I don't want to wait any longer. Lu Chen looked at Mount Li and the others from the boat and smiled. I'm very happy to meet you. This time, you don't have to accompany me. I'll go alone. But, when I come back, I'll fight with you. With that, Lu Chen's figure flashed and he left. Mount Li and the others were still in a daze. After a while, they regained their senses. Lu Chen was probably already far away. This lunatic. Ba Shan frowned. How can he just leave like that? He doesn't want us to die with him. 3 Lives sighed. The Heavenly Tribulation Pagoda is known as the Forbidden Ground of the 3 Heavens. No matter how powerful the madman is, how will he be able to pass through all 9 levels of the Heavenly Tribulation Pagoda? Captain, are we just going to watch this lunatic die? Li Ba Shan frowned. He was both angry and anxious. He stood up and paced back and forth. Suddenly, Pulling Mountain Strength stopped and looked at the remaining people. I can't ignore Madman. What do you guys say? Frost Dance stood up. I'll go with you. I'm going too. Motherfucker, you're all crazy. Sigh, why do I have such teammates? Forget it, I'll go too. Ever since Lunatic came, I've been dying every 2 to 3 days. Although my heart can't take it anymore, it's really exciting. Count me in. Sure enough, birds of a feather flocked together. The 11 of them quickly chased in the direction of the Heavenly Punishment Tower. The Heavenly Punishment Tower was quite a distance away from Ink City. Here, even the 3 heavens couldn't casually ride a mount. It would be very easy to expose oneself. After traveling day and night for 2 days and 2 nights, Lu Chen finally saw the ancient pagoda in the distance. Above the pagoda, dark clouds covered the sky. Lightning flashed in the clouds, and the surrounding sky was completely different. The closer he got, the darker the sky became. The wind wreaked havoc in the forest, and the trees slanted. Lu Chen walked against the wind. His robe and hair danced in the wind. Not far away, there was a stone tablet. Heavenly Punishment Pagoda. Heavenly Punishment Pagoda, no one is allowed to enter. Gods and demons of all races, avoid it. This was probably the most domineering inscription Lu Chen had ever seen. The meaning was very simple. No matter what race you were, no one was allowed to approach the Heavenly Punishment Pagoda. Lu Chen snorted coldly, and stepped into this area. Luckily, It's a forbidden area. Otherwise, it would be impossible for me to not encounter any obstacles along the way. Lu Chen walked towards the pagoda. Not long after, Lu Chen stood in front of the 9-story heavenly punishment tower. He looked up and saw the towering pagoda covered by dark clouds. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Standing alone in front of the heavenly punishment tower, Lu Chen was like a tiny black dot. Mu Xian, I'm sorry for making you wait. Lu Chen took out the reverse water scale sword. I'm coming. After saying that, Lu Chen pushed open the dusty wooden door and entered the first floor of the heavenly punishment tower. 10 minutes later, a team of 11 people appeared in front of the heavenly punishment tower. Looking at the heavenly punishment tower standing in the middle of the thunderstorm, Li Beixian and the others felt a great pressure. They had never encountered such a thing in their lives. This is the heavenly punishment tower. Dark clouds cover the sky, strong winds blow, lightning flashes and thunder rumbles. It's as if someone has offended the heavens. Just standing here already makes me feel breathless. It's hard to imagine how terrifying the inside of the heavenly punishment tower is. A marshal is only one step away from becoming a titled marshal. If we force our way in, we can't even last 30 seconds. We're just here to die. To them, the heavenly punishment tower was definitely a forbidden area. Look, the wooden door is open. Madman has already entered. Let's go. Second heaven, in the monster forest outside the heart-refining courtyard, a beautiful girl in white was hunting the orange quest boss alone. Her white clothes fluttered past and the huge rock-scale python fell to the ground. Quest completion progress +1 inch. I've been here for more than 2 months and my progress is quite fast. However, I still need to practice more to hunt the boss of the Rainbow Gold Gem quest. As for Black Rubber, sigh, compared to Big Brother, I'm still far behind. Let's see what the boss dropped. It would be great if it dropped a dazzling gold equipment. At this moment, the girl suddenly frowned. Taking out a bronze mirror, the girl saw a man in red enter an ancient tower. The girl's eyes widened. That's the heavenly punishment tower. Big Brother, why are you going to the heavenly punishment tower? As a member of the Beishua family, the girl naturally knew what kind of place the heavenly punishment tower was. Militia? Big Brother, are you trying to force your way into the heavenly punishment tower? In the monster race's frontline base camp, a skinny mountain cat quickly entered the camp and transformed into a half-human, half-cat woman. Although she was half-human, half-cat, this woman was very seductive. When she walked, she was even more enchanting. Even if a human saw her, they would probably let their imagination run wild. At this moment, there were 7 to 8 2-meter-tall monster race members who had the face of a beast and the body of a human. They were studying a map. Monster race members could have huge bodies. However, if they wanted to accommodate the real bodies of all the soldiers, the construction work would be too much. Thus, they only appeared in their current form in the camp. Mountain Cat, you're back. A tiger-faced man looked at the woman and immediately walked over. How was it? Did you find out who killed Lei Ming? I found out. The Mountain Cat woman smiled seductively. It's a human recruit. But I have a more interesting piece of news. Oh. What news? That fellow went to the heavenly punishment tower. What? Force his way in. Could it be that he went to snatch that treasure? A bear monster beside the tiger man said disdainfully. What are you afraid of? There are many people who want to force their way into the heavenly punishment tower. Can anyone come back? The Mountain Cat woman smiled. I'm afraid there's nothing to be afraid of. Until now, no one has been able to obtain the treasure in the heavenly punishment tower. However, according to the usual practice, it's best that we send people to monitor it. The Sky Demon race, Undead race, Descendant race, have already sent people to monitor it. The Tiger Man nodded. And, I wonder if that fellow can come out alive. The mountain cat woman put her hand on the tiger man's shoulder. That's right. That way, we can capture him alive and let the humans know how terrible the consequences of killing our people are. The tiger man smiled. All right. This time, I will go personally. I must treat this fellow well. Chapter 457. Mountainly and the others had already entered the first level of the Heaven's Punishment Tower. The Heaven's Punishment Tower was similar to the Tong Tian Tower, but the inside was bigger than the outside. Torches were lit all around, and the light from the flames flickered. They could see that there were cells all around them, and there were cries and screams coming from within. I beg you, let me out. I'm willing to be your slave, please let me go. I know I was wrong, please. Don't go. Don't lock me up here anymore, please. Mountainly and the others did not have time to care about these people. Where's the boss? Where's the Heaven's punishment? Cutthroat looked around strangely. Not long after, Qinghe's little fox returned and chirped a few words to Qinghe. Qinghe then said to everyone with certainty, there's no boss. Mountainly looked around and frowned. Could it be that the mad scientist has already passed the first level? It seemed like this was the only possibility. No wonder the people in the cells were only crying and begging, and not wailing like the rumors said. The person they're talking about should be the mad scientist. That guy actually passed the first level. That's too strong. Quick, let's go to the second level. There were much fewer cells on the second level, and the people locked up here were much stronger than those on the first level. However, the pleading sounds coming from the cells were no different from those on the first level. Even if they were strong, they could not endure the attacks of the Heaven's punishment. They only wanted to get out, and they did not care about their dignity. Brother Sean, if we can make these people work for us. 3 Lives could not help but feel a little moved. Mountainly shook his head, people are fickle. We can agree to any conditions now, but once we get out, we can't control them at all. We can sign a contract, now is not the time to talk about this. Let's catch up to the mad scientist first. That guy actually passed the second level. In front of the Heaven's Punishment Tower, many teams had already arrived. There were various races, including the Beast Race, the Descendant Race, the Demigod Race, the Sky Demon Race, the Night Demon Race, the Humans, the Undead. There were more than 10 races that had heard the news and rushed over. Strangely, when the various races arrived in front of the Heaven's Punishment Tower, they did not fight. They maintained a safe distance from each other and minded their own business. The human troop was a garrison of Mo City. The leader of the troop was a major general with the ID of Hengdao. At this moment, one of his subordinates, whose ID was Yu Fei, quickly walked up to him and whispered in his ear. General Hengdao, a total of 13 races have sent people here. Hengdao's face was solemn. Yes, I know. We'll be the last to leave after that kid comes out. These troops were here to monitor Lu Chen's attempt at the tower. Although no one believed that a mere human militia could break through the Heaven's Wrath Tower and obtain the treasure, it seemed to have become an established rule. It was as if all the major races were very afraid of that treasure. Even if there was only a 1 in 10,000 chance, they would absolutely not allow anyone to take that treasure away. When did that guy go in? Hengdao suddenly asked. Yu Fei replied, General, we're not too sure either. When we arrived, he had already gone in, but the group of people who arrived later had already gone in for 20 minutes. 20 minutes? Hengdao frowned. Did he die inside? That's not right. The Heaven's Wrath Tower doesn't keep people inside. Even if they're dead, their bodies will be thrown out. Could it be that they can really hold on for so long? Yu Fei suddenly thought of a question. General, if, and I'm saying, if, they come out alive, should we protect their safety? Yu Fei emphasized that this was just a hypothesis. After all, it was already a miracle that they came out alive. Heng Dao looked at a demigod troop not far away and shook his head. It's useless for them to come out alive. The 13 major races are here. We can't protect them even if we want to. Unless they can obtain that treasure, otherwise, whoever wants to capture them can do so. We can't do anything about it. Humans were the weakest existence in front of this group of people. It was difficult for them to even protect themselves. They had to wait for the other races to leave before they dared to leave the Heaven's Wrath Tower. Asking them to fight with these strong races was tantamount to courting death. Besides, you're just asking unnecessary questions. Do you think that a few militiamen can come out alive? We just need to complete our surveillance mission. Don't worry about it. Yu Fei frowned slightly. Although the general's words made him feel uncomfortable, the other races would do their best to protect them when they encountered any disputes. However, humans could only swallow their anger. At this moment, he even imagined that those people could bring out the treasure and let the humans hold their heads high for once. 10 minutes later, there was still no movement from the Heaven's Wrath Tower. The surrounding races had already started to discuss. What's the situation? He's still not coming out. What's going on? Why is there still no movement after so long? Tiger King frowned slightly. That kid had been in for a long time and hadn't come out yet. Something's not right. Cat Lady leaned on Tiger King's shoulder. It's indeed a little unusual. No one can last for so long. Could it be that the kid can really pass a few levels of the Heaven's Wrath Tower? Tiger King narrowed his eyes. I heard from the group of trash that escaped that the kid seems to be very strong. His damage can reach 37 million. If that's the case, with his strength, he should be able to become a titled marshal. Maybe he can pass 1 or 2 levels. Titled marshal? Bear Man also frowned. No wonder the teams that came to monitor this time are all of high levels. Tiger King snorted. Hi. Only the humans sent a major general. Humans are the weakest. A major general isn't even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth. The others who have some strength are all at the captain level. They're about the same as me. I'm not afraid of them. Let's wait a little longer. I don't think that kid can last much longer. When the time comes, we'll capture him alive. At the entrance of the Heaven's Wrath Tower's 7th floor, Lu Chen took a deep breath. At this moment, his HP was maintained at a red blood state. Only when he encountered a strong enemy would Lu Chen maintain such a low HP to fight. However, although this state was strong, it also meant that Lu Chen was always on the verge of death. The boss on the 6th floor is so strong. Coupled with the hellfire damage, it's going to kill me. Lu Chen wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Under the heavy injury, there was indeed a problem with his body. He didn't know if it was an internal injury, but he had been bleeding since just now. 3rd celestial stage injuries will affect the use of skills. Let's check the skills. Lu Chen looked at his skills. Among them, the Mute Dust Pearl's spiritual energy storm was sealed. At the same time, because his spiritual core was damaged, all skills damage was reduced by 25%. Damn, this debuff can't be removed. You must recuperate and adjust your breathing to recover. Lu Chen frowned. The first 6 floors were already difficult for him, but now he had 3 more floors. Moreover, they were the most difficult 3 floors. Taking a deep breath, Lu Chen spat out a mouthful of blood. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and stared at the entrance of the 7th floor. Mu Xian, wait for me. I'm coming. Chapter 458. When he reached the 7th floor of the Heaven's Punishment Tower, Lu Chen had already entered the battle. Debuff, Heaven's Punishment, Wind Erosion. Below the true divine constitution, the body will be affected by wind erosion, leaving no flesh and blood. Lu Chen's eyes widened. What kind of Heaven's Punishment is this? It directly damages the body. This is even more unbelievable than the previous heaven's punishment with high continuous damage. A gust of wind blew past. What Lu Chen felt was not the feeling of wind brushing past his skin, but a sharp blade that cut his body. In an instant, Lu Chen's whole body was covered in blood. Please note, your body has been damaged. Your left arm has been damaged by more than 10%. Your left arm's mobility is reduced by 10%, damage is reduced by 10%, and maximum health points are reduced by 5%. What the fuck? It directly reduced my maximum health points. Lu Chen was shocked. Is heaven's punishment always so overpowered? Heaven's punishment was a continuous attack, which meant that as long as Lu Chen stayed here, he would be damaged by the wind erosion. The reduction of his maximum health points would affect him too much. He had to find the boss quickly and kill it. Only by killing the boss could the heaven's punishment stop. Fortunately, the boss was not hard to find. In the gust of wind, 100-meter-long giant scorpion stood in the eye of the wind, staring at the intruder. I didn't expect that someone would be able to break into my place. Through the translation program, Lu Chen understood the giant scorpion's words. Very good, I've been bored for too long. Finally, there's someone to play with me. After saying that, the giant scorpion flew toward him. The system reminded him again. Please note, your body has been damaged. Your left leg has been damaged by more than 10%. Your mobility is reduced by 10%, damage is reduced by 10%, and maximum health points are reduced by 5%. Lu Chen said angrily, shut up. Cancel the notification. Triple door. Earth chasm. On the 6th floor, the Cerberus guarding the door already had close to 800,000 damage. This scorpion must be even stronger. Lu Chen did not dare to be careless. He started with a strong control. As long as that guy was stunned, he would have a chance to quickly pass through here. With the help of the triple door, the earth chasm smashed onto the giant scorpion. With a loud bang, the ground shook. However, after being hit by the earth-splitting chasm, the giant scorpion was not stunned even though it had dealt a few 100,000 damage. Lu Chen was shocked. How is that possible? I clearly hit him. Is it strange to be a human? Immunity to stun. As it spoke, the giant scorpion had already arrived in front of Lu Chen. It waved its huge pincers and bombarded the ground in front of Lu Chen. Lu Chen also did not expect that this fellow would not attack him, but instead attack the ground. But he soon understood. With a loud bang, the ground beneath Lu Chen's feet cracked and collapsed. Lu Chen suddenly lost his footing and found it difficult to control his body. This should be a skill similar to Universal Annihilation, Sky Shaker, but with a larger area of effect. Just as Lu Chen's body was floating in the air and he lost control of his body, a huge scorpion tail descended from the sky and stabbed straight into Lu Chen's head. Above him was actually a human's blind spot. The giant scorpion's body was huge, its tail was tall, and its speed was extremely fast. It was originally difficult to detect, not to mention that Lu Chen was still floating in the air. Fortunately, Lu Chen had the Eye of the Dark Gods, and the Eye of the Dark Gods gave him a timely warning. Only then did Lu Chen realize that the opponent had already made its move. At this time, it was very difficult to dodge. For most skills, the first condition was to move on the ground and step on the ground to provide power. Because of this, once the enemy hit you into the air, it was very difficult to use displacement skills to dodge the opponent's subsequent attacks. Lu Chen's HP was very low now. If he was hit, he would probably die again. But this was only the 7th floor. Lu Chen definitely could not waste another life here. Blood sacrifice shield. Lu Chen shouted angrily. The giant scorpion sneered. You're courting death. My attack is piercing damage. It's specially designed to break your shields. Sure enough, the moment the scorpion tail touched the blood sacrifice shield with millions of durability was instantly broken. Lu Chen's eyes widened in anger. This was bad. At this moment, an angry roar came from behind him. Puppet secret technique, blood sacrifice soul pull. Suddenly, Lu Chen felt his hands and feet being pulled by someone. Just before the scorpion tail fell, he was ruthlessly pulled away. It's a puppet master. After Lu Chen dodged the attack, he turned around in surprise. The one who had attacked him was his teammate, the unlimited puppet master of the mountain picking team, Main Yang. At this time, she was bleeding from all 7 orifices. Her hands seemed to be pulling an invisible string, and the other end of the string was pulled to her body. After using this move, Main Yang suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Fortunately, a few people rushed out from behind her and supported her. It's you guys. Lu Chen saw the 11 familiar figures. They had actually chased him to the Heaven's Punishment Tower. The 2 heartless brothers raised their hands and gave Lu Chen a rejuvenation spell. Main Yang endured the pain and quickly pulled Lu Chen to the side of everyone. Madman, you actually made it to the 7th floor. Oh my god. There are a lot of depressions on the 6th floor. I knew you should be on the 7th floor. Damn, what kind of punishment is this? It directly reduces the upper limit of one's HP. Madman, how did you get through the previous few floors? Stop talking nonsense. Madman only has a little HP left. Let's help him block it first. Main Yang suddenly stopped everyone. Passive. That scorpion is not a living thing. Ah. This time, even Lu Chen was dumbfounded. What, that scorpion, was not a living thing? That's a puppet. Main Yang panted heavily and stared at the giant scorpion. Madman, you almost fell for it. He used the blood sacrifice soul pull, the same one I'm using now. Main Yang, you've never used this blood sacrifice soul pull before. Main Yang took a deep breath and tried to calm her breathing. This is a secret technique. I thought I was the only one who knew it. I haven't found a suitable puppet yet, so I didn't have the chance to use it. Lu Chen suddenly realized. No wonder that guy was immune to stun. It turned out that it was a puppet. There was someone controlling it from behind. How could it be stunned? At this moment, a person slowly walked out from behind the giant scorpion. This person was not human. He was ridiculously thin and had a big head. As he walked out, he was still clapping. His tone of voice was also strange. I didn't expect that the one who recognized my blood sacrifice soul bind would be a human puppet master. Then, the person looked at Lu Chen. Kid, if your friend didn't recognize that this was a puppet, you probably wouldn't even know how you died. I can play you to death. This time, Lu Chen only felt sweat on his back. He didn't even know who his opponent was. How could he win this battle? Lu Chen stood up and wiped the blood. He could no longer control his injuries and learned to bleed. Main Yang, thank you. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid I would have died here. Main Yang nodded. Madman, we'll cover you. Retreat quickly. Lu Chen smiled. Although his face was covered in blood and his limbs were numb, his smile looked a little forced. I won't leave. I promised my friend that I would save him. No matter what, I will save him. Knowing that guy is a puppet master, I don't think I will lose again. With that, Lu Chen turned around and walked back to the battlefield. Chapter 459. This was Lu Chen's first time fighting a high-level puppet master. Puppet masters were generally weaker, and their attributes were not outstanding. However, the most terrifying thing about a puppet master was the puppets in their hands. Main Yang was a fifth-line puppet master. She could control fearless puppets at the same time. Among the 5 puppets, there were meat shields, close-range fighters, and long-range fighters. In addition to the puppet master's own enhancement of the puppets, it was no exaggeration to say that a high-level puppet master's combat power was comparable to a small team. The strength of a puppet master was mainly determined by the level of the puppet technique. The higher the level of the puppet technique, the more puppets one could control. Mein Yang was a fifth-line puppet master. She could control a maximum of 5 puppets. Her strength was considered very strong among the puppet masters Lu Chen had encountered. On the other hand, besides the number of puppets, a puppet master also had to look into the strength of the puppets themselves. There were all kinds of strange puppets in Jiutian. They could be made by collecting materials. There were also some other methods to make special puppets. There were even some extremely special individuals that could be used as puppets from birth. The stronger the puppet, the more special the puppet technique and puppet strings needed to control it. Blood sacrifice soul traction was a type of puppet technique. At the same time, it came with a special puppet string. It used one's own blood qi to form strings. It was extremely rare. Obviously, this puppet master was not simple. 7 stars chasing the moon. Lu Chen targeted the puppet master's body. He leaped a few times, trying to get close. You think the puppet master will let you get close? Dream on. The puppet master smirked. His hands were behind his back. This way, no one would be able to guess his attack from the movements of his fingers. Second in command, come out for a walk. Just as Lu Chen was about to get close to the puppet master, the ground suddenly split open. A huge gray shadow darted out from the ground and blocked the puppet master's path. Halfway through Lu Chen's attack, a gray shadow darted out and used Tiger descends the mountain in an attempt to repel the puppet master. 10 consecutive hits, 30 segments of damage. Immune. Lu Chen was shocked. He used the remaining 7 stars chasing the moon and quickly retreated. Only now did he see the new puppet clearly. It was a gigantic creature that was covered in rocks. It was 30 to 40 meters tall, but upon closer inspection, it wasn't a stone golem. Its skin was covered in rocks, but when its joints were bent, one could see its flesh and blood. Its rock head emitted 2 faint white lights as it stared at Klein. Ha ha ha, I told you that you can't get close to me. The puppet master laughed. Are you surprised? Your attacks were invincible in the first few floors, but why are they useless against me? I'm sorry, but you can't even get past the second master. Mein Yang's eyes widened. That guy actually had this puppet. That's a rock troll puppet. He actually has this puppet. Ba Shan hurriedly asked, Mein Yang, is this puppet very difficult to make? It's not difficult. It's that no one knows where to get it. Mein Yang shook her head and said, it's said that the rock troll is a demonic creature that lives underground. It's nurtured in underground fire and cultivates in underground lakes. Its body fuses with underground metal, ores, and seeds. Its attacks contain the 3 elements of metal, earth, and fire. It's immune to physical attacks, and its resistance to metal, wood, water, fire, and earth elements is over 80%. It has an almost invincible defense. What? Ba Shan was shocked. It's immune to physical attacks, and its elemental resistance is over 80%. How can we fight it? Mein Yang's face was not relaxed at all. She nodded. That puppet is the tank-type puppet that almost every puppet master dreams of. Unless it's a special elemental attack, it won't move at all. It's just that no one knows where to get this puppet. Chasing Cloud's brows were tightly knitted. Spiritual energy attacks are actually elemental attacks without any attributes. With the improvement of one's cultivation technique, one will eventually approach an element with high affinity. This fellow has such high resistance to all 5 elements. He's indeed an excellent meat shield. Then all that's left is the heavenly might attack. Cutthroat frowned. However, Mein Yang shook her head again. I previously said that blood sacrificial soul traction is a secret technique. The most powerful aspect of this puppet technique is that it greatly reduces damage. Everyone knew that puppet masters could share the damage with their puppets. However, it was only to share the damage. The total amount of damage would not be reduced. However, blood sacrificial soul traction could actually reduce damage. The others had never heard of it before. Blood sacrificial soul traction does not share the damage, but completely reduces it. Main Yang continued to reveal a piece of despairing news. The damage the puppet receives can be transferred to the puppeteer through the blood veins. While the blood veins transmit the damage, the 360 blood veins can greatly reduce the damage caused by the heavenly wrath. By the time it reaches the puppeteer, there won't be much left. At this moment, the power of blood sacrifice soul bind is displayed. It provides a second transfer of damage. The puppet master can transfer the damage to the puppet. In this way, the damage reduction will be doubled. During the entire process, only the puppet will suffer the damage, but it's already the damage after the second round of damage reduction. I've calculated that currently, my blood sacrificial soul traction can reduce damage by 60%. That guy's damage is probably even higher. What? The others almost broke down. That's too crazy. 60% damage reduction. The heavenly might damage will also be reduced by more than 60%. With immunity to physical attacks, elemental resistance of more than 80%, and a damage reduction of more than 60%, standing in front of the puppet master was truly an indestructible heavy tank. No, if Lunatic doesn't know this guy, he'll definitely be at a disadvantage. Main Yang hurriedly shouted at Lu Chen, "Lunatic, that's a rock troll. It's immune to physical attacks, has elemental resistance of more than 80%, and has a damage reduction of 60%. It also has a defensive skill that's almost invincible." When Lu Chen heard Main Yang's warning, he instantly broke out in cold sweat. What the fuck, did this guy have to be so strong? The rock troll's mission was to protect the puppet master at all times. In order to kill the puppet master, they had to kill the troll puppet first. The giant scorpion, with its powerful control ability, probably wouldn't just stand by and watch. The puppet master looked at Main Yang, who was behind Lu Chen, in slight surprise. This woman knows quite a lot. I really like your surprised looks, and I like the feeling of helplessness in front of me even more. Since that's the case, let's make this feeling even stronger. Come out, all of you. As soon as the puppet masters finished speaking, 4 rock troll puppets jumped out from the ground. This time, Main Yang and the others' faces turned pale. Oh my god, this guy has 5 rock troll puppets. This guy is a 6th-tier puppet master. He has a troll puppet squad under him. Does he have to be so exaggerated? What the fuck, can anyone kill this guy? Main Yang's face was pale. 5 rock troll puppets, if the damage is spread out evenly. Oh my god, how much damage would he have to deal to kill them? At this moment, everyone saw Lu Chen's expression change as he held his left arm. Oh no, the injury on Lunatic's left arm is getting worse. And his left leg. It's one thing to have an undefeatable boss, but he still has to endure the insane heavenly punishment. There's no way out at all. Oh my god, is this the heavenly punishment tower? No wonder no one can get through here. Lu Chen gritted his teeth. His body was hurting more and more, almost to the point where it was unbearable. His limbs weren't listening to him anymore. The puppet master opposite him had a group of rock troll puppets with heaven-defying defense and a giant scorpion. It's the 7th level. After this level, there are only 2 levels left. Lu Chen stared at the puppet masters. Damn it. I didn't expect that I would have to go all out on a mere 7th level. Instantly, Lu Chen's eyes glowed green. His body gradually split open. A ferocious-looking, majestic demon broke out of the human skin cocoon, unable to endure the thirst. The only thing that was out of place was the pair of white furry ears behind the thick horns on its head. They couldn't help but itch and move mischievously. Chapter 460. The rock golem was not only good at defense. 2 rock golems stood in front of the puppet master and activated Iron Bastion at the same time, blocking the illusions outside the protection area. The other 3 rock golems and giant scorpions pounced on the illusions around them. Earthquake. Blazing fist. Unfortunately, the illusions left behind by the ghost shadows were unable to cause any damage. Their only use was to identify Lu Chen's real body. The puppet master was enraged that he could not find Lu Chen's real body even after casting many illusions. He roared at the illusions in front of him. "Kid, do you think you can touch me just by transforming into a few illusions that have no fighting power? No matter what skills you use, you can't hurt me." Lu Chen did not get close to the puppet master. The Iron Bastion blocked the illusions outside, so he could not descend to the puppet master's side. Moreover, his target was not the puppet master at all. A rock golem was pouncing on an illusion. Its huge fist was too hot, emitting thick smoke. In the environment of heaven's punishment, the smoke was very strong. Just as its fist was about to hit the illusion suddenly turned around. Dragon blood boil. Tiger descends the mountain. Being able to use skills meant that this illusion was Lu Chen's real body. However, when everyone saw the skill he used, they could not help but feel nervous. Tiger descends the mountain. Isn't that a physical attack? The rock golem is immune to attacks. What's wrong with Madman? Don't talk nonsense. Can you think of a way to hit the rock golem? The number of Heaven's Wrath attacks is limited. It must be used at a critical moment. Madman needs to ask the rock golem for help. Sigh, I'm afraid we can't pass this time. The enemy is too strong. Seeing that Lu Chen only used Tiger descends the mountain, the puppet master could not help but laugh. Ha ha ha, you're really at your wit's end. Stop struggling and wait for your death. Heaven's punishment tower is not a place you can enter. Fierce Tiger descends the mountain was about to arrive. At this time, Lu Chen shouted out, Demon's 3 transformations, Darkness Element Conversion. Of the 3 God and Demon transformations, the 3 God transformations could transform attacks into Thunder Elemental attacks, while the 3 Demon transformations could transform attacks into Darkness Elemental attacks. These 2 types of attacks weren't within the defensive range of the rock golem. However, due to the powerful damage reduction effect of blood sacrifice and soul pull, Lu Chen needed to maximize the damage he dealt. Hence, his first choice was still the 3 demonic transformations. Although the rock trolls had extremely high damage reduction, in the 3 transformations of the celestial demons, one of the 3 passive skills, Tunnel, could increase elemental attack damage by 100%. Even if the opponent had 60% damage reduction, Lu Chen's damage was still off the charts. -7. 4 million, dark elemental damage, 12, 6 million damage reduction, -2. 72 million, 4, 23 million damage reduction, -2. 72 million, 4, 23 million damage reduction, -7. 47 million, -2. 72 million, -2. 72 million, a series of numbers stacked together and floated out. 30 hits, a total of 130 million damage. As a rare elemental damage, the rock golem had no resistance at all. Other than the damage reduction effect of blood sacrifice and soul pull, it took all the damage. The rock golem's health points were just over 100 million. Before Lu Chen's damage was done, the rock golem's health points instantly disappeared. This was after the damage reduction twice. If there were no damage reduction, Lu Chen's attack would have dealt 390 million damage. The rock golem's huge body fell to the ground. Not far away, the puppet master spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Chen didn't give him any chance to breathe. In the Heaven's Wrath Tower, he couldn't afford to waste any time. Phantom shadows, descend. Before anyone could react, Lu Chen's real body had already appeared in another location. This time, he chose the giant scorpion as his target. Tiger descend. The giant scorpion had 80 million health points. Moreover, it was not controlled by blood sacrifice and soul pull. Halfway through Tiger descend, the giant scorpion rolled over and retracted its legs. It was no longer moving. Phantom shadows, descend. Tiger descend. Phantom shadows, descend. Tiger descend. Phantom shadows, descend. Tiger descend. Lu Chen moved in a way that was difficult to capture. In an instant, he appeared in various locations on the battlefield and killed all the remaining rock golems. Wherever he went, the rock golems, which were known for their defense, couldn't even withstand a single attack. They were almost like paper, dying with a single touch. Everyone who was sweating profusely for Lu Chen just now was stunned. Oh my god! What kind of damage is this? The damage is over 100 million. And this is under the 60% damage reduction. This. What kind of skill is this? Does the lunatic's skill have no cooldown? Can anyone explain this? The lunatic is actually so strong. Oh my god, it's fine if the damage is high, but the skill doesn't have a cooldown. Coupled with this displacement skill, this is a fucking harvest. Pulling Mountain shook his head. The lunatic's strength had once again shattered his understanding of it. He's too strong. I've never seen such a strong person. Moreover, when he fights, his mind is very clear. At the beginning, he used phantom shadows to fill the battlefield. He had already planned to kill the rock golems first. I finally know how he made it to the 7th floor. This kind of strength, this kind of calmness. That guy isn't human at all. On the battlefield, when Lu Chen arrived in front of the puppet master, who had lost his protection, the bodies of the 3 or 4 rock golems around him were still slowly tilting. Phantom shadows was just that fast. The puppet master didn't dodge or struggle. He just looked at the person in front of him in disbelief. 9 transformations of gods and demons. You actually have the 9 transformations of gods and demons. A heaven-tier taboo skill. This person was quite knowledgeable. He could actually identify the 3 transformations of gods and demons. However, this guy said 9 transformations, but Lu Chen clearly used the 3 transformations of gods and demons. Lu Chen's first reaction was that the 3 transformations of gods and demons in his hands wasn't complete. Facing his impending death, the puppet master suddenly laughed. I have nothing to say about losing to the 9 transformations of gods and demons. However, kid, I'm very curious. Will you become a god or a demon in the end? Now, it seems like you prefer becoming a demon. Lu Chen frowned slightly. What did the 3 transformations of gods and demons have to do with becoming a god or a demon? It was just a set of skills. Lu Chen's raised hand was interrupted by the puppet master's question. What do you mean? Ha ha ha, so you don't know. I won't tell you. The puppet master wasn't too stupid. He knew that whether he said or not, the result would be the same. Therefore, he might as well not say anything. Without any bargaining chips to exchange, he would just disgust the other party. Lu Chen suddenly realized that this guy wasn't beaten for no reason. If he didn't want to tell, then so be it. Lu Chen didn't buy it. Tiger descends the mountain. The puppet master didn't even struggle. This was what happened to puppet masters when they were closed in on. Even if he was a 6-string puppet master, after losing his puppets, he had no power to resist. He only had 10 million HP, much lower than the boss Lu Chen had encountered before. He was instantly killed by Lu Chen. When the puppet master's HP reached 0, a white light instantly engulfed the entire floor. Suddenly, the wind erosion on the 7th floor disappeared. The surrounding fog dissipated, and the entire floor could be seen clearly. Even the surrounding prison cells could be seen clearly. The puppet master's corpse on the ground hadn't disappeared yet. It must have dropped something. However, Lu Chen didn't manage to hold on until his favorite part of looting the corpse. His vision turned black, and his body fell straight to the ground. In a daze, Lu Chen saw a line of red words from the system. Your physical body has suffered more than 40% damage. Please recover as soon as possible. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.